true crime. From cold cases to serial killers, missing persons, and more.
100% he did this.
I'd go off in the fantasy world.
How much more lucky can you get that you're not on death row?
You want to know what we know?
My name is Jay. This is Guilty of Crime.
Let's go. All right. Can you hear me now? Let me refresh. All right, everybody. Can you hear me now? Nobody can hear. I'm here. All right. It's Jay with Guilty of Crime, and I'm back. This has been my case from the get-go. I'm right here, folks. This is a last-minute show. All right. So here we go. Jay with Guilty of Crime, and we're going to get into the 896 page. I'm going to do a reaction. I'm going to thank Paula from Plunder, who's an absolute angel. If you didn't already think that she was an angel and you haven't already subscribed, please do. At the same time, hit that like button. If we didn't do the like button, we wouldn't be able to talk to awesome people like Paula from Plunder. I'm guilty of being heard. Now, quick story. I woke up this morning and there were 896 pages of PDF documents in my inbox. Love it. Paula's amazing. I'm going to go through it. I'm off the next 4 days. I promise you, I'm going to do an episode, but there were too many things that I couldn't deny that I had already called out or that there was a mistake on. So I had to bring it to you. All right. So I'm also going to watch the verdict with you after in a separate show. For Wade Wilson. Wade Wilson's guilty, but let's get into this, folks. Grizzly True Crime Live is also doing deep dive documents. I'm going to do that. I have a different take on the case because I have a different perception of people that I know. And that's how, folks, I knew that STEPHAN Stearns and Jennifer Soto weren't at the birthday party, especially STEPHAN Stearns. All right. So we're going to get into it as everyone rolls in. Yes, please follow Paula. She's my angel in this case because I've been following it and I didn't have $800 to buy the documents, but they're now here. They're now with me where they should be. And I appreciate it so much as the community grows. The only way it can grow is if you hit the like button, and then people like Paula will be able to see that we're legit channels. I also got a few more introductions today. I'll say hello and then we'll get started. It's difficult but important. It's the elephant in the room, folks. There's no way around it. I can't talk about any other case without that. Thank you. I'm wearing pink today. Just wearing pink for the whole Maddie thing. I know she's like pink and purple and, girl color. So, yes, we're going to address all of this. I just wanted to make sure, since it was last minute, that you guys were here. I want you to know that I'm on the document. I seen the maps. I seen the things. So we're going to go through it. We're going to do a reaction video to Paula for right now, because that's all I can do. And then I'm going to go over we're going to watch a verdict together. Yeah, thanks, Jojo. There's only 55 likes and 141 people in here. So show us some love. And I'm sorry about my volume, but we're going to get into it. So we're only doing this reaction video now because I wanted to address the crime crew, my audience, you people. And I want to let you know I have the documents. I have every single page. Very high resolution, perfect, beautiful maps. Everything's you guys are gonna love when we go through it. So yeah, pink and purple. I've got pink on today for Maddie. Pink, purple. I wore purple yesterday. So the whole thing is justice for Maddie. I saw the other day when you were streaming, someone mentioned something about transfer of a body at a hotel. You're absolutely right. And we did Athena, as a matter of fact. Thank you, Athena, if you're on here. I also mentioned the courtesy ride that Jenn Soto took, and she used Maddie in the past tense several times. I now have those documents. So let's get into this, because I have lots of reactions to this, and then I have another document. I'm just going to do a snippet of it, and where they're talking about a certain time where they found something called Solo lotion, which is the cream that you use for this, and they found it in the hotel area or the vicinity, whatever. Anyway, I have to read it, but they found what they call cream or lube, and I was talking about lube yesterday. I didn't think it's funny, and now I don't. So yeah, they found the lube that I was talking about yesterday. It's in the documents. All right, so let's just get to it, because I knew you all were waiting for me to do this, and we're going to probably be on here for a long time when we do dig through the documents. Hers are redacted. Mine are not redacted, so it's going to take me a little bit of time. Let's go. Thank you, Paula, again from Plunder. You're guilty of crimes. Angel right now, and Maddie's our angel, all of us.
Of Andrew A. Bain. He is the state attorney out of the 9th Judicial Circuit in Orlando, Florida. It's an 896-page document. And once again, thank God I got it from the YouTuber, The Docket. He just has a way with
And thank you to The Docket, Mr. Easy E. His name is Easy E. I call him E for short. His name's Eric. So thank you, Easy E. I like that better. So Docket, if you watch this, I'll shout you out later, because I know that's where they came from, the documents. So thank you. Also, remember yesterday's conversation about Jenn being too drugged out to even notice? Well, it's like I said yesterday, there's a medium halfway point between Oblivious Benson and what I was saying, and that halfway point brings to point when we talk about Maddie and Jenn having riffs with each other and having a little bit of beef. That doesn't sound like a mom that's just like this and didn't know what was going on. It sounds like a mom that had some jealousy, and then in between the jealousy was also all drugged out. So we're going to talk about that as well. If I have any corrections to make, I will make them. If I said something that was outside of the documents, one more other thing, and I'll address it when it comes. Guess what, folks? STEPHAN Sterns wasn't at Maddie's birthday party. So where did that balloon come from with the picture of STEPHAN Sterns in it? I need you guys to remember all these things that we talked about and what we said was going to happen and what didn't happen. Yeah, she doesn't. She also, all this. You guys have already seen it, but now you're going to watch it again. with what we know.
Hoyas. He has a way with people. Check the links below to, follow him on Twitter X because he posts stuff, sometimes a lot on there, as well as subscribing to his YouTube channel. He was covering another case today, but he sent me this nearly 900-page document in the Jennifer Soto and STEPHAN Stearns case. And boy, it reveals so much more behind the scenes about what Jennifer did, what STEPHAN said. I don't think it makes Jennifer look very good at all. And so it's a lot of incident reports. It's a lot of interview notes. I guess Jennifer was interviewed several times about her then missing daughter, Madeline Soto, 13 years old. We have a lot of different viewpoints. Now, of course, I'm not going to read the entire nearly 900-page document to you. I scrolled through and read.
We'll save that for my channel. Thank you, Paula. I love her take and I love the things that she catches, but we'll deep dive into that. If it takes several episodes, that's what we're going to do. But this is great. Grizzly True Crime. I just finished that. Absolutely fantastic, y'all. Subscribe to everybody. The docket, Mr. Easy E. Go leave Easy E a message and tell him thank you from Guilty of Crime for just putting the documents out there.
Researched a lot of it today, the whole thing. Oh my goodness, it took hours and hours and hours, and I was painting, so I still might have paint all over me. What a day. But I had to jump on here and read it to you guys, at least the highlights. I took a bunch of notes. They talk about Jennifer looking shady, speaking about Madeline in the past tense before they had even found Madeline's body. And I'm not going to get gruesome. There are some things in there, of course, no photos or nothing like that, nothing too gory or anything like that. A lot of it's been redacted, so I scroll through a lot of black pages, and I don't plan on uploading this anywhere either. Not only is it just sensitive information, but it's also, even though it's redacted, I see that certain witnesses aren't redacted, or the man who owns the property where Maddie's body was.
Yeah, so we're going to be really careful with that at Guilty of Crime and not getting out anything that's redacted. So anything I do show you, it will be redacted. I'm going to cover things up. There's too much information for it to be out in the public. And that's probably why they charge, because if it was all out in the public like that, who knows what sick people would be putting what where. Hashtag I've always stuck with arrest Jenn Soto, and now we know a little lot more. That's my saying, a little lot more. All right, let's go. I love being with the crime crew. Y'all knew I had to be here. I had to. It was, I couldn't get the elephant out of the room, out of my mind, and now I can. So thank you for being here. And there's a ton of things today that's just, if you haven't already heard it, just wait for it.
Was found, and different people, even Stearns' dad, his phone number's in there. I saw a lot of stuff scrolling through that was just not as redacted as I would have liked. So I thought, okay, let me not post this anywhere. Let me take notes and tell you guys what I found the most interesting. I mean, they talked a lot. It makes me feel sad for Maddie. Oh, what she endured. They speak with her teachers, with her family, with friends. We get a deeper look into this horrible life that Maddie led. I mean, her friends, they sound wonderful. These little, obviously, teenagers. One of her friends even talks about Maddie's menstrual cycle. I mean, it's in here. It's a part of the documents. It's a part of the interview, and how she and Maddie were always kind of synced up. You know how women, we usually sync up when you're around another woman. If you've had roommates, you know.
Oh yeah, syncing up is not good. And I bet when they sync up, there was a lot of riffs, which we didn't talk about. And now it's opening the conversation. Thank you, Hope 8 Fear, for gifting a membership. I see some people in here saying your class acts, and I hope nobody's in here starting anything, because please don't do that. Justice for Maddie. These are the real documents. This is real information, and we're getting it out in the community together. So again, thank you, Rebecca J. I'm obsessed with your channel. Thank you so much. Keep coming back and keep sharing and liking and subscribing so we can have a better community. One other thing I wanted to tell you is I also just got linked up with an NYPD officer. That's a current New York Police Department officer or detective. And he has a channel, and we're going to plan on collaborating. That way we can get even more information. And he's probably about my age, so I'll leave that as a surprise. When I bring him on, he's from NYPD. He'll tell us the real breakdown of what police do, detective work, all that.
generally your menstrual cycles start syncing up. And this girl is going to talk about how Maddie's cycle was late in January. I don't know, that gave me pause. Now, all of this, of course, is never to disparage any victim. And I don't understand why some people are like, don't talk about that at all. Don't talk about any possibilities. But it can lead to the truly heinous and egregious nature, whatever was going on there, of what STEPHAN did to Maddie. Let's get into it. There's an interview with STEPHAN Sterns on February 27th, 2024, and he's revealing, this is the first time I knew this, Jennifer Soto indeed sent him off to sleep with her 13-year-old daughter, Madeline Soto, the night of her birthday party that Sunday. So this is on page 29. It reads, on February 27th, 2024, Detective Acosta and I conducted a digitally recorded sworn interview with STEPHAN Sterns at a location that is redacted. In fact, plenty of the names in this document are redacted and the location, so I'm going to assume what logically makes sense in the context of what I've read. I think people will be studying this document for years to come, just like we did with that 1963-page or whatever discovery document from the Chris Watts case. It says that STEPHAN currently resides in Northport, Florida, but he comes to Kissimmee, Florida occasionally to spend time with Jennifer and Maddie. On February 25th, now this is Sunday, at approximately 20:45 hours, so that's around 8:45 p.m., STEPHAN arrived at Jennifer and Maddie's residence located at Santa Maria Drive. When he arrived, Jennifer was still at work and he directed Maddie to get ready for bed. Oh, we're going to learn about him saying, oh, that means she took her medication, she took a shower.
Yeah, this is going to be just a deep dive from what we've already been talking about. We've already been talking about all of this, but now it's documented, and some of us are going to have to stand corrected, including myself. There'll be things that I stand corrected on or I'll correct. And just know this is an overview of the 896 pages, folks. I will give you plenty of time to let you know when we're going to go through it so you can catch all the details in depth, which Grizzly True Crime does that, but I'm going to highlight certain other parts that she probably doesn't because we're different people.
Once Jennifer arrived, she informed STEPHAN and Maddie she would like to sleep in and directed them to sleep upstairs in the guest room. What we're going to learn about Maddie's volatile relationship with her mother has me looking at Jennifer even worse. I'm asking myself, did she hate Maddie? Was she jealous of Maddie? There were all these problems between this mother and daughter beyond just maybe, things might get a little rocky when you have a teenage daughter and they're going through those teenage years. This seemed like something different and deeper and just made me feel so bad for Maddie. So now the following morning, STEPHAN and Maddie woke up at approximately 7 to 7:15 a.m. to get an early start so they could purchase food from McDonald's before school. Next, the document goes into
Again, this is a complete 1,000-foot overview that's going to give you some of the details that we thought we knew and more details that we didn't know. But we will definitely get into all of that because it's 896 pages. So it has lists of witnesses, and more than likely it has the bottles that were listed on there. Yeah, there was 3 bottles that were listed, but I don't have the full document in front of me. I'd have to go through 896. I have it right here, but I'd have to go through there. So Athena, if you want to send me the 3 bottles, I would appreciate that. Like if you want to send me a list or just throw it up in chat to let the people know, we're going to get into all that, folks. I promise you, I'm going to give you the details.
that whole spiel from Stearns about Maddie changing her mind about McDonald's and getting dropped off near school and all that stuff. We know it's a complete lie. But this is the first time I've heard Stearns tell cops that Jennifer sent him and Maddie off to sleep in the guest bedroom the night of or before her murder. And we're going to learn in here about STEPHAN definitely moving Maddie's body out of the front passenger seat into the trunk of a vehicle. We're going to learn about him staying at a hotel. It might have been Tuesday night. Stearns stayed at that hotel because the cops said, you guys, look, we're taking your apartment, your condo, we're searching that, forensics. We saw all that stuff. So cops were like, look, you guys got to find somewhere else to go for the night. They'll even talk about how Maddie's grandma, Yolanda, who is Jennifer's mom, does not like Stearns. Now we're going to hear about this detective making a special note of the fact that Jennifer.
All right, folks, I had to call that out because I've been saying that the entire freaking time. And I know that was just like a speculation storm, but it's just because I heard it from that side of the family and the roommate and many other people that know Jenn Soto on that side. Her mom, absolutely. And now we're seeing it in the documentation. It's not just us making up a story. Her mom absolutely despised him. And so I knew that he wasn't at the birthday party. And to address the birthday party, that balloon was probably just photoshopped. Somebody photoshopped it and sent it to Vinnie Politan. I even played it on my channel and I put the balloon picture up, and I thought STEPHAN Stearns was there, but it was just a Photoshop. So thank you, Bree, for being here. I think Carly's missing in action. I haven't seen her yet. Um, Jojo, thank you for being here at last minute. All of you. Love it when people give memberships. People absolutely love Jay. She rocks. Thank you. I didn't even know you were going to say that. I was just reading it. But anyway, the balloon must have been photoshopped. I stand corrected because at one point I showed it, but it wasn't real.
Was speaking about Maddie in the past tense, but what is this new job at Disney that was so important to Jenn that it was just so exhausting for her that she felt it was okay to tell Maddie and STEPHAN, oh, go sleep on another floor, even not even just in another bedroom, but on another floor as well. It just blows my mind. The features that she is going to recognize on STEPHAN when detectives show her more photos of his hands and his junk and everything, which elaborates on what we read before. It's not like Jennifer said she didn't notice anything or she didn't see anything or nothing looked like STEPHAN in those photos. In fact, his face is in one of them. Oh my goodness. I have a lot of evidence. This guy is going down, let me tell you. Let's now look at page 31 of the incident report. At this time, Detective Acosta and I responded to the front entrance of the complex and made contact with security in reference to video surveillance. Detective Acosta and I reviewed the surveillance showing both the front and the rear entrance of the complex, which exited onto Dyer Boulevard. In the surveillance footage, I observed a male wearing a red shirt leaving the complex in a 2010 silver MKZ through the rear gate.
All right. So this is where it all started. And now we're going to start hearing about Jenn and STEPHAN Stearns. She's so mixed into this that there's always half truths. And yesterday, what we talked about is just, I'm not sure it's even a half truth. It's a little bit of a partial of her being drugged out, but I'm pretty sure they're going to hashtag arrest Jenn Soto for something soon after you hear this again and you start to see it again and all the things that she did again, and her talking about Maddie in the past tense and the way she went along with the story and everything that unfolds right now. There's no way that an arrest is not coming.
At 7:50 a.m. with a female wearing a green sweater in the front seat. This person appeared to be sitting upright with her head slumped over to her left side. At 8:19 a.m., I observed a male wearing a red shirt enter the complex through the front gate near North Hoagland Boulevard. In the silver Lincoln with someone in the front passenger seat wearing a green sweater and once again slumped over. So she's still slumped over from 7:50 a.m. to 8:19 a.m. And then at 8:31 a.m., the male wearing the red shirt left the complex in the silver Lincoln MKZ through the rear gate with a female in the front passenger seat, completely slumped over to the left. And it gets even more descriptive in some parts where they talk about how Maddie's mouth is agape, is open and totally slumped over. And they even describe what it was like finding her body and what she...
Yeah, again, I'll have to stop and just say prayers for Maddie to get complete and utter justice. When you hear these things, they're horrible, but they're the truth. And I'm so glad that the cameras were working that day. I'm glad they were as high res as they are and they got to see everything. And thank you all for supporting and being here. CBC, earlier you messaged me and I messaged you back at CBC. CBC is a new friend, and I think we're going to be doing hopefully some things behind the scenes together. Nina, thank you. I've been a lurker for a while. Each live, I love your channel more and more. Thank you for speaking up for Maddie. I'm going to speak up for Maddie all the way to the end of this, folks. So buckle up because there's a lot. Yes, thank you, CBC. Rest in peace, Maddie, and let's get justice. Let's listen to this. Trigger warning. This is harsh. I showed a picture on my thumbnail of a body in a trunk, and I kind of blurted out the face. It's not really Maddie, but I didn't want you to think that the girl in the photo was. So it's the harsh truth, and the elephant in the room is happening right now.
She was wearing, and I didn't include this part in my notes, just where on the property she was found near these like hay barrels, and it doesn't sound like she was like buried. It sounds like he kind of haphazardly put her in between this location and tried to cover her up. But unfortunately, there were flies and everything else that at least detectives were...
Now, this is the part where we talked about yesterday about the flies. People were talking about decomposition, how far were the stage. Of course, rigor mortis was already setting in. It gave a good idea of how long they knew when she was missing. Again, trigger warning, this is harsh, folks. What's the new news? The new news is 896 pages of documentation and all of the things that they found. That's the new news, justice for all. So if you don't have the 896 pages, then you probably don't know what the new news is. There's lots of it, but you gotta sit in and listen because we haven't we haven't got to it yet. So I think you missed what I said earlier. I have all the pages. We're doing a 1,000-foot overview, and then we're gonna dig into it. And as Grizzly True Crime says, we're gonna do a map time so you can see the maps and where the pings were and everything. The new news is you didn't know half of this stuff about Jennifer Soto is actually true.
Led to Maddie because of all this great detective work. Now let's go over this one crazy interview with Jennifer Soto from page 32. On February 27th, 2024, Detective Acosta and I conducted a digitally recorded sworn interview with who I am assuming is Jennifer due to the nature of the things discussed. It continues, I introduced myself to Jennifer and informed her I was going to be the lead detective on this investigation. I informed Jennifer that Detective Hunt had provided me with a synopsis of what had occurred the day Maddie went missing. I informed Jennifer I had been advised she had a new job and that she had asked Maddie and STEPHAN to sleep upstairs because she needed to get rest, which she stated that was correct. According to Jennifer, Maddie had her birthday party on February 25th, 2024, beginning at 1500 hours, which is 3 p.m., and ending at an unknown time. Jennifer had not attended due to being at work. We will also finally learn, according to one of Maddie's friends, STEPHAN was not at Maddie's birthday party either, so neither one of them were there. Now, Jennifer advised that her sister had.
All right, so I had to stop it there because that ends all the back and forths. STEPHAN Stearns was not at Maddie's party, and the Yolanda Zambrano did not like or does not like STEPHAN Stearns, okay? So that ends that rumor mill that I've been saying for a long time. And she's looking so sweet, all the sons, all the brothers. She would have been greatly loved by many, and she was, and she's watching out above us now. She's an angel. She's resting in peace. No more pain. No more suffering, folks. And yeah, it's very sickening. But we have to learn the truth to get complete and utter justice and expose those that are doing wrong. And Jenn Soto needs to be arrested. As you listen to this further, you're going to hashtag arrest Jenn Soto even more. Hi, Sadie's mama. All right, let's listen. Nobody was at that party, folks. Only her cousins and uncles and friends, and not even that many people showed up.
Dropped off Maddie at her house at approximately 20:30 hours, which is around 8:30 p.m., and she believed STEPHAN had arrived shortly.
Hold on. I'm going to go back to that for a second because I missed who she said dropped Maddie off. We've been saying, how'd Maddie get home from the birthday party? What happened? Who was there? When did she get home? She's telling us right now who dropped Maddie off and around what time. And then after that time frame, we're filling in the blanks finally.
Maddie and STEPHAN to sleep upstairs because she needed to get rest, which she stated that was correct. According to Jennifer, Maddie had her birthday party on February 25th, 2024, beginning at 1500 hours, which is 3 p.m., and ending at an unknown time. Jennifer had not attended due to being at work. We will also finally learn, according to one of Maddie's friends, STEPHAN was not at Maddie's birthday party either, so neither one of them were there. Now, Jennifer advised that her sister had dropped off Maddie at her house at approximately 20:30 hours, which is around 8:30 p.m., and she believed STEPHAN had arrived shortly after that time. Like, why did he show up right when it was time for Maddie to come home? Like,
it was for her. He was waiting for her. He wanted to go to that birthday party, folks, but the family members didn't like him. They obviously got a bad vibe. They knew he wasn't bringing anything to the table, and that's the bottom line. So we were right about the timing. He actually didn't lie about the timing. He was there about 8:30, 9 o'clock, waiting for Maddie to get home to give her bedtime routine, and something went wrong. That's what we don't know.
Jennifer call him and say, okay, I'm going to be working late. Come on over there and stay with Maddie. Stefan informed Jennifer that Maddie had taken her nighttime medication and was getting ready for bed, which consisted of taking a shower. Jennifer arrived at the house from working approximately at 22:30 hours, which is around 10:30 p.m. So it wasn't that much later. I mean, why did she even need Stearns there? And that's when Jennifer sent Maddie and Stefan to bed at approximately 2300 hours, which is 11 p.m. I asked Jennifer where Maddie and Stefan slept, and she stated upstairs in bedroom number 4. But I don't know which one is bedroom number 4. I asked Jennifer if it was normal for Stefan and Maddie to sleep in the same room, to which she stated sometimes.
All right, folks, bedroom number 4 was Grandpa Juan's room. And I showed you the pictures of the house in one of the videos prior. So when you see the video that has it had a medium-sized bed with the black frame, not much in it, white carpet, that was bedroom 4, and it was on a separate floor than the one that Jenn was on with Stephan when they used to sleep in the bedroom all together. Juan was all the way down, like away from them, so you couldn't hear anything. So that's bedroom 4. Yeah, this document doesn't help Jenn at all. It exposes all the lies, and it fills in a lot of the blanks for us.
She would send them upstairs when she needed a really good night's sleep, which is so weird to me. It's weird and selfish, and as we get into the relationship between Jenn and Maddie, and Jennifer also advised, sometimes they would all sleep together in the king-size bed, and other times Stefan would sleep upstairs, meaning Maddie and she would sleep alone. Like, why is he even there? Jennifer's sending Stefan off to sleep with Maddie, but then she's also just Jennifer and Maddie sometimes sleep alone, and Stefan's in another room. Anyway, we'll also go over the mystery about why they broke up. Maddie wouldn't say why, wouldn't tell her friend why Stefan and Jennifer broke up. Her friends are going to talk about how close Stefan and Maddie were in terms of always, communicating, and the cops found a lot of communication between the two of them on her phone. All of Stefan's grooming this little girl. But then
yeah, you guys are going to be so angry if you haven't already watched the other channels, like I won't even mention the ones I don't like, but if you haven't watched like The Docket or Grizzly or any of those, there's so many things in that document. You guys, your mouth will drop to the floor. No, Bio Dad is not going to be able to civilly sue Jenn for neglect and wrongful death, but we want her to be arrested. Bio Dad, Tyler Wallace has other separate issues than worrying about that. We need to worry about hashtag arrest Jenn Soto.
Maddie's going to criticize Stefan. She's going to speak badly about him to her counselor without admitting what she was really suffering. But sometimes Maddie and Jennifer would sleep alone, and Jennifer advised it usually depended on everyone's schedule the following day. I asked Jennifer what time she had woken up on February 26, 2024, to which she stated she believed sometime between 8 a.m. and 8:15 because Stefan had gone into the room to put the leash on the dog. Now, this story is one that changes. Jennifer heard people in the kitchen, and as far as she knew,
you see his creepy look at the camera in the back. I like how she's showing the body cam. Kate, thank you, all the way from England. And I am going to do more work, lots of more work. Right now, this is a 1,000-foot overview because I know the crime crew was waiting for me. And I know y'all would be a little upset if I didn't say anything about this. So thank you for being here. I'm going to put a lot more work into this.
Maddie had gone downstairs to get ready for school. Jennifer then stated that either Maddie or Stefan, I'm not sure which one because it's blacked out, so maybe they're talking about Maddie, maybe they're talking about Stefan here. One of them had a makeshift room in the living room that had a television. Maybe that's where Stefan did his toys and painting and stuff. It had a television, a desk, a dresser, and a bed. Maddie or Stefan only used this room to hang out and would never sleep there. I asked Jennifer if she visually observed Maddie on the morning of February 26, 2024, to which she stated no. So where did all that talk come from? It flies in the face of that other report that claims Jennifer said she saw Maddie around 8 a.m. that morning. Other reports, Jennifer is going to say, oh no, the last time I saw her was Sunday night. And so then why did Jennifer correct Stefan, claiming Stefan was like, oh, Maddie had on maybe black pants or something, and Jennifer jumped in and said that night when we watched the body cam video, oh no, maybe it was black shorts. She corrected as if she had seen Maddie that morning.
Exactly. Not only did she not see Maddie that morning because she wasn't at the hotel, but she didn't say, she corrected Stephan. Stephan said she had blue shorts on. Jenn said she had black shorts. In fact, she had jean shorts on, and she didn't see Maddie that morning at all. And CBC, I'm with you. I knew I liked you. SS is 100% lucky he didn't meet Jesus on a fast track with so many like me have gun carry permits. Loads are pew-pewed in Florida. Absolutely right. I would do it and save taxpayers a lot of money. I knew I liked you. Absolutely.
and what she was wearing to school. Turns out from, this report, Maddie was wearing jeans when she was found. And they found one of her
Yes.
Crocs somewhere else, and then she had on the green sweater. Okay, back to the report. I asked if she had heard her, and she stated she heard people in the kitchen, but was not sure if it was her specifically. Jennifer then stated the last time she had physically seen Maddie was on February 25th, 2024, at 2300 hours when she had sent her to bed. So what's that, 11 p.m.? So Jennifer's story is just falling apart. If she last saw Maddie at 11 p.m., go off to bed in another bedroom with my boyfriend, that we're on again, off again. Anyway, Jennifer's going to claim she used to be so vigilant with STEPHAN, but over time, over the years, she learned to trust him. And is it really that much naivete in the world? Yes, maybe, but oh my goodness. But this flies in the face of her knowing or seeing Maddie at all on Monday. And this cops will point it out.
Cops will point it out. Athena, you're pointing it out. It just shows that she's more in tuned with what happened than what she's saying. And cops are not going to go easy on her. They didn't write that in the report for no reason, that she was using Maddie's name in the past tense. They're not going to ignore that that Maddie's been abused for years by an on and off again a boyfriend, that she called a step parent at one point, and a whole bunch of other things. So the black shorts and the purple underwear found in the cart, disgusting. I don't know how that relates to Jenn, but that shows even more culpability. She knew, she lied, she's complicit. Thank you, Jay. That was all I had to say, too. She knew, she lied, she's complicit. Thank you.
February 26, 2024, Jennifer got out of bed at approximately 9 a.m. So she's claiming she didn't get out of bed that Monday, that Maddie went missing until 9 a.m. and didn't see her at all. She only heard STEPHAN, I guess. Maybe she saw him like getting a leash for one of the dogs. So Jennifer left the residence around 9:30 because she had a doctor's appointment scheduled for 10:15 a.m. So that's that blood appointment, I guess STEPHAN was talking about. Jennifer returned home approximately between 11 and 11:15 a.m. and believed STEPHAN was at home at this time. I asked Jennifer what she and STEPHAN did when they reunited at the residence. Jennifer stated they had chatted for a little bit, and she asked, quote, what happened? I asked what she meant, and she stated STEPHAN had called her around 10:18 a.m. to let her know he and Maddie had not gone to McDonald's as planned. This McDonald's plan really plays into this whole narrative because STEPHAN is going to talk about, or someone, Jennifer's going to talk about, oh, STEPHAN was going to take her for a special McDonald's breakfast. According to Jennifer, Maddie and STEPHAN had planned.
So another thing, folks, is I thought this in the beginning when I heard people talking about, I hope STEPHAN Stearns didn't take her to the hotel after her party. And I was like, wait, what? Because I hadn't seen the evidence about a hotel. How did that fly? Thank you, Veronica Alamar, for saying Jenn needs to be held for something on this case. Too many red flags, and discussing that she's lying to cover for that bastard. She let Maddie go to a hotel with him the night of her birthday? What? What? Okay, so are we just going to say she was passed out that night and she didn't know because she was so tired? She didn't know her daughter, her 13-year-old daughter, was at a hotel with her boyfriend. She was at that hotel later on. They were there together. What? Folks. Oh.
Planned to leave early and have a special, there it is, and have a special breakfast at McDonald's. And he would then drop her off at school early because she wanted to arrive early. Lies, right, all of it. Like, okay, who sends their 13-year-old off with her boyfriend, who he's not really like a solid guy, he hasn't put a ring on it, he's not her husband, sends her daughter off with this guy to another bedroom, and then the next day they're supposed to have a special McDonald's breakfast together? It's just so weird.
So that special bedroom that she sent him off to equals a hotel. That's what I'm translating this to right now. That he's been taking her to a hotel, and we're probably going to find out more because they're going to see the check-ins and the videos, etc. So it happened at the hotel that night. How many other times did he take her to the hotel? And is that where he was taking the videos? What was he doing with the videos? So many things. JB on the local news YouTube live streams. He straight up shills for Jenn and will attack anyone who says anything about I can't stand. Are you talking about Hey JB? Yeah, hashtag Hey JB. That's funny. What's up, Paul Eckert? All right, let's keep going. This is disgusting. And the special room is a hotel. That even just, I don't understand why she's not arrested. I need to have patience too. But waves come, big waves hit. And when a big wave hits, another one comes. Remember,
Here, STEPHAN told Jennifer that on the way to school, Maddie was very sleepy and she wanted to sleep, not get McDonald's, and just wanted to get dropped off. He also wanted to let her know that he left his phone at home by accident and had gone to the vape shop, but they had not opened on time. The cops are really going to dig into this vape shop and STEPHAN's timing and his whole timeline being off and all these lost hours. They even dig into his dad and his dad's movements on this time. Like, that's a lot of pages. These cops did their jobs. But as far as Jennifer and STEPHAN, their timelines are going to be a little bit wacky, especially STEPHAN's. STEPHAN waited for a while in front of the vape shop, and after they did not open, he went back home. After hanging out with Jennifer for a while, STEPHAN left again to go to the vape shop to get what he needed. Jennifer then asked if I wanted the name of the vape shop, because she believed it might be helpful if I wanted to look at surveillance. Another ding, ding, ding red flag. There's going to be another point in here where Jennifer tells the cops that STEPHAN took her vehicle in the middle of the night. That was a weird red flag. This is another red flag to me. I can't wait to see this video or hear this audio interview, because Jennifer's asking the cop, oh yeah, you want the name of that vape shop? Because, you know, it's like she's saying, STEPHAN was definitely there. You can pull the surveillance on that. You'll see him. Almost as if they truly planned and went.
yeah, I'm normally a fan of Hey JB. I watch his stuff and I stream, but I'm really surprised he's sticking up for Jennifer Soto or defending her, because how can you defend her when she, Jay, you say she was in the home for years as abuse happened? Either she's guilty of neglect if she didn't know, or she knew and allowed it to happen. Jay, did I find my clone? Jay, I just said earlier to my wife, I need a clone. I need 2 hosts of Guilty of Crime. There you are. You couldn't have said it better. Jennifer Soto, how can you defend her? She was in the home for years as the abuse happened. Either she's guilty of neglect if she didn't know, or she knew and she allowed it to happen. How could you defend that?
When STEPHAN gets into it with the cops about what time he was at the vape shop or what time he was not there, it makes it sound like he just intentionally went there and just sat there so he could be seen on video. But the cops weren't buying it, of course. So after Jennifer's trying to help the cops out by, you know, do you want the name of this vape shop so you can see my boyfriend on video? Anyway, I then told Jennifer I was advised at some point STEPHAN had gotten a flat tire and he was not able to go to school with her. I asked Jennifer to advise me how she became aware Maddie was not at the school. Jennifer stated she normally left her residence at approximately 14:30 hours, which is 2:30 p.m., and waited about an hour for her to get out before the bell rang. I wonder why she normally, if that's true at all, why she normally waits an hour for Maddie. I don't know. That would be a little weird, but to each his own. Jennifer waited the entire.
That actually really is weird. And I think she was just telling stories that day to try to cover for the fact that she really was just out of it. She handed her daughter to the devil, and then she needed to cover her ass and his when she realized Maddie was missing. And if she wasn't complicit in that particular part of the crime, she was complicit in many other things. Jay, what she said earlier was completely on point. All the tanks say, I'm wondering why bedroom 4, that 4, like a brothel room, is numbered. Because that was the room that he was using. They have pictures, and the pictures are marked with that room. They identified that particular room. And that was Grandpa Juan's room. Jelly Belly says motel room was when police told them they had to leave the house and they're not allowed to stop. But there was other information about it wasn't even a hotel, it was a motel room. So we're going to get deeper into the case. Right now we're doing the 1,000-foot overview, and I appreciate you all for filling in some of the blanks. We'll do that, I promise.
Entire time, and when the bell rang, she noticed Maddie was not one of the first to come out like she normally was. Jennifer then realized she was holding up the parent line, and at approximately 16:10 hours, which is 4:10 p.m., Jennifer drove away. So she's saying she left her residence. I don't know how long it takes to get from the condo to the school, but she left her residence at about 2:30, waited a whole hour for Maddie to get out. Okay, she's not coming out. At 4:10 p.m., oh, I'm holding up the parent line.
She did wait about an hour, folks. That school was not in her district, remember? She used Yolanda, her mom's address. It was 5.6 miles from her house, and in traffic, it could take up to 20, 30 minutes. So she was there supposedly over an hour waiting for Maddie. That's also really weird and suspicious. She couldn't get up and take her that day, but she waited that long for her. Just do.
And that's why Jennifer drove away. Now, this part is another red flag for me because Jennifer says Jennifer was not sure if Maddie knew she was going to pick her up. Therefore, she drove to her mom, Yolanda Zambrano's, that insurance company workplace, and checked on the way to see if she observed if Maddie was walking. When she arrived at Yolanda's job, she asked her if Maddie was there, to which she was advised it was still too early. Jennifer then parked on Hunters Park Lane to see if she would see Maddie walking. In this point, she's claiming.
Okay, so this makes sense now why they were at the grandma's place. Jennifer Monroe, happy birthday to you. That makes sense. Why everybody was in that area. They did call the cops right away when they realized she didn't go to school, and it was closer to the school, grandma's office, which they used her address, nicer area. So it completely makes sense. And then the cops took a really long time because they had another missing child the same day.
Okay, Maddie's phone is at home, so she can't text her. I'm going to go over why did Jennifer just leave the school? Maddie didn't come out. It's going to be weird when she starts talking about, I emailed her teachers and all this stuff. And then by the time I went back to the school, it was closed. It's like it was all by design. Any normal worried mother or parent, if you're waiting, you leave your house at 2:30, you're waiting an hour, your kid doesn't come out by 4:10 p.m., your normal instinct wouldn't necessarily be to drive to, okay, let me go to my mom's office because Maddie might have walked there. To me, the normal instinct would be, let me park wherever, even if I got to park in the teacher's lot or wherever. I'm running in the school really quick. Let me see, is anyone here? Have you guys seen Maddie today? Instead of just sitting there emailing the teachers.
Well, sitting there emailing teachers, folks, we know she didn't call 911. She was using Maddie in the past tense. She didn't do any searches. They sat around at the house. When the cops came to the door to verify what Maddie was wearing, she was like, like they were bothering her. I hope that she gets charged with something, some form of being an accomplice to the crime, knowing about the crime. She had to have. She already had a finality to it. I don't understand how people are even sticking up for Jenn Soto. Hashtag arrest Jenn Soto. Well, Jen's going to say she didn't know or that she was scared of him. Well, we know what she's going to say because now we're using that I'm dumb defense. But it was all out there. Like all the things she did were nothing. She already knew. It's like she already knew.
Who knows when they'll read an email? I just feel like Jennifer has so much guilty knowledge, and these pages are proving it to me. I don't know why she hasn't been charged.
Yes, I love Paula. Guilty knowledge. Deception detective, can you hear us? Jenn Soto has guilty knowledge, folks. Diabolically guilty. Someone told me that I should have my civil liberties taken away because I said she needs to be locked up. Really? Wow. Timmy Coates, aka program manager. Yeah, it's interesting how many people are defending her. I don't understand. I would have gone crazy. I would have been even despite all of how she was acting, and let's say that's how she normally acts, and she's really weird. There's too many lies that she told the day that her daughter went missing and is now gone, and then all the abuse that happened. So take away how she acts, folks. All of us may act differently. Put into place the facts and all this new evidence we're hearing.
With anything yet, but maybe she will be. Normally you think she could be calling her mom's office. Mom, I'm in the school. Did Maddie walk there? Has she shown up yet? Okay, no. She'd be in the school kind of looking around for her or asking her school teachers instead of emailing them. That's so strange to me. But she's claiming, I was holding up the parent line, so she had to leave. No, you just pull over. You go find a spot. You go in the teacher's lot if you have to. You do what you have to do to go in there and, you're still at the school. Maybe I'll run into one of Maddie's friends. Maybe I'll ask people. Maybe I can ask the front office. They can page her. There's so many other things you could do. But Jennifer was parking on Hunters Park Lane to see if she would see Maddie walking. At approximately 16:30 hours, which is 4:30 p.m., Jennifer knew Maddie should have reached her mother's office by then. So now it's 4:30. Jennifer went back to Yolanda's office and asked if she was there and told not yet. Jennifer then contacted Maddie's friend and asked if she was with Maddie. She informed Jennifer that Maddie had not gone to school and that she was not in the first or second period. This is a weird part too with Jennifer. She then asked someone, and it's redacted, it's probably Maddie's friend, what do you mean? We dropped her off close to school. She should have walked to school. It's that same line. So she's telling.
Yeah, same line. We dropped her off. She 100% trusted Stephan. If she really didn't know, she trusted Stephan, that she wasn't oblivious, folks. She wasn't oblivious at all. Maybe she was surprised. There's a slight possibility that she was surprised that Maddie didn't get dropped off at school. That she could have been, but she definitely was following Stephan's story, and she had guilty knowledge that something bad had happened to her daughter, and she knew that there was a finality to it. She even said, "Bring my daughter home. I hope they bring her home." However, whatever that looks like. In the interview, one of the interviews, she says that, and it was only like the next day before, and it was the day before they actually found her. So all of this new information is coming out, and there's so much more. We can't even get through it in 45 minutes, folks. There's 896 pages of this stuff, and Jenn is all intertwined in the documents.
Maddie's friend, after Maddie's friend informs her, "Oh, Maddie wasn't in first or second period today," Jenn pops up with that line. "What do you mean? We dropped her off close to school. She should have walked to school." It sounds very rehearsed. First of all, again, Jennifer's popping off with the we. What do you mean? We dropped her off close to school. I've heard that 1,000 times. She should have walked to school. It was like she's laying the foundation of, whoa, where did Maddie go? We dropped her off close to school. And one of these friends is going to talk about Jennifer was not freaking out, despite all these claims that she was freaking out when she realized Maddie wasn't at school. She wasn't. So this is getting shadier by the page. It seems like Jennifer's bolstering Stearns' story about going to the vape shop. And it's the same old thing. We dropped her off close to school. She walked to school, or what we thought walked to school. Anyway, a friend informed Jennifer that Maddie was not in any of their periods. Jennifer then began to panic because she believed something was wrong. So Jennifer is telling the cop, "Oh, that's when I started to panic, I guess." But some of Maddie's friends, at least one of them, is like, "Oh no, she wasn't freaked out at all." Jennifer emailed a
And it's not surprising that the friend said that she wasn't freaked out at all, because we watched all of the body cam together, and she looked nervous for herself. She looked scared for herself, like, "Oh no, we're going to get in trouble. We didn't do it right. They're going to find her body. Not they're going to find my daughter. They're going to find her body. She was in trouble for herself. She was worried about herself. She wasn't worried about where Maddie is and when she's coming home, or she would have been at home waiting for Maddie to get home and then gone back out looking for her when she didn't come home. Instead, she was at grandma's office having them call 911. I want this to be about justice for Maddie. I definitely want to rip Jenn Soto apart, but I also want to make sure justice for Maddie happens. Hashtag arrest Jenn Soto. We're definitely celebrating that STEPHAN Stearns is facing the death penalty, and I'm pretty sure he's going to get it. And Jenn does need to be scared. She's scared for herself that day. We've seen it thousands of times when a defendant, and she's not one yet. They haven't charged her, but we've seen it thousands of times.
A few of her teachers. Now, this is strange to me. Jennifer emailed a few of her teachers, and one replied saying Maddie had not made it to his class and had not made it to school at all. Jennifer began to freak out and contacted 911. So is that what Jennifer's claiming to the cop? Because Jennifer never called 911 herself. Another red flag.
Now, I want you to know, folks, I'm Fisher Blue. I'm going to do this in guilty of crime style, and I'm going to do some documents up and some pieces and clips and maps and things like that. Plunder's doing an amazing job. This is my reaction to her video. She did send me the 896 page document. That's a PDF that has all the information, all the maps, everything you could possibly want to consume. So I just wanted to take the time out to do this with you all so we can have a conversation about it, so you don't think I just disappeared. But yeah, Plunder did it nicely. Grizzly did it nicely. I haven't seen the dockets yet, but Mr. Easy E is the one that gave those documents to Paula, and Paula gave them to me. So thanks again, Paula. I cannot wait to rip those apart and show you all what I have to say about it, and for what you want from what, so you can see the maps, and it's going to be a lot different than this. It's going to be J style. Thank you. I couldn't have said it better, Marilyn McRae. Thank you.
And that emailing of the teachers, if you go try and pick up your 13-year-old daughter from middle school, you're waiting, and you're like, I don't know if she knew I was picking her up. I mean, immediately your response would be like, let me call my mom, let me text my mom, let me see if she's on the way there. But I think she should have gone in that school. If she truly did not know what had happened to Maddie that day, you would think Jennifer would have pulled over, gone right in that school, try and find whatever teacher's still there. Like, did Maddie come to class today? Or go to the front office and get them to announce it or something. Like, okay, there you are, instead of, oh, let me just email her teachers. That's something she.
Yeah, let me just email. And we just hit five. Well, we hit 555, which is an angel number. Maddie's now our angel. So take a moment of silence for Maddie. Rest in peace. Complete and utter justice for Madeline Soto. Veronica, we're going to do part 2 on the activity of Jenn, and there's not a lot of activity on Jenn. There's activity on STEPHAN Stearns. I have a part 1. Go back to my playlist where we talk about that, and we don't think he actually used the dark web at all, if you know what the dark web means. Jay, I'm new to the channel, but you do an excellent job covering the case. Hashtag arrest Jenn Soto. Absolutely. Now, Paula's talking about Jenn not being really worried about it right now, but when she was being transported, she used the past tense several times. So that was in the document, and I can read that again if you want. Or if you want to see it, I can. Yeah, fly high, Maddie. I'll just read it one more time. We have 896 pages to go through still. Right now, we're doing an overview. There's also another document I have that's crazy, and it talks about the Chrome 4 outside the room, located in a black backpack with what they call it masturbation cream. They photographed the item and pointed it to the crime scene investigator. They tell the time. They name out the name of the lube. It's called like Slow Low lotion. So all of these things are in the document, and it's very disturbing. I'm just looking at what they call digital photographs, and it says presumably Stearns essaying Maddie. The purpose of viewing the child, and they call it CSAM, video of the phone call, was to ensure the correct evidence was collected. We examined the clothing worn by both Maddie and Stearns, along with the surrounding items such as sheets, blankets, and other articles of clothing. We were able to identify some of the items seen in the photographs in the downstairs area. The space appeared to be the living room of the apartment turned into a bedroom, with a folding room divider between the bedroom space and the kitchen dining room. This area was located at the far right of the apartment, first floor when you enter from the front door. So that room that we're talking about, folks, was far from where Jenn Soto slept. So when I imagine Jennifer Soto saying, I need to get some good rest, you guys go in another room, she knew what was happening. Just go in another room. I don't want to hear you. I'm sure she was jealous. I promise you, she was jealous of Maddie and the attention she was getting. I still stick to that. I still stick to the story that she was jealous of the attention she was getting. It happens, and especially when she's getting that kind of attention and Jenn's not. How could Jenn miss that with a tripod and a room divider and lube? Really? Send your daughter to the room when there's a big a bottle of lube sitting there with underwears laying around and sheets that were probably dirty and not washed with seminal fluids, folks. Are you kidding me? Yes, really. What's up from Canada? It's making me mad. A makeshift bedroom with a bottle of lube and dirty sheets and a tripod, and they're renting out all the other rooms so they could get money to do whatever they do while they're just letting Maddie be abused. Yeah. Now the cops documented all that in these 896 pages, and that's why they're calling it the special room, because more than likely that was the room that he used, and it wasn't even like a room. It was a partial room while they were renting out rooms for everyone else. Yes, Timmy Coes, she's so disgusting. How do you not see that? Yeah, I am. You see, that's why I'm here telling. And I'm trying not to yell. I hope I'm not yelling at you. I get a little bit passionate, a lot passionate, but I also try to keep my tone down. And I don't know why the roommates didn't say anything, but why didn't the mom say anything? Yeah, it does sound like they were making money from Madeline. Nothing's off of the table at this point. Sassafras, Jen, 100% new. I'm glad you're heated because there's so many more documents that say so many more of these things. How could she not have known? We're all passionate here. Good. I just don't want to be yelling at everybody. It's hard not to get mad when you're hearing this. And when you're reading a document and you're seeing pictures of this stuff and you see different pictures and different key points, you're like, what in the hell? How? What? Thank you, Jamila. Good to see you, Jamila. Yes, I think we're all passionate. Definitely. All right. I'm glad that I'm helping you so that you understand and get the perspective. And we have so much more to keep going. Right now, we're at 1,000-foot overview, but we're going to get down and dirty. No pun intended.
You mentioned on the body cam, and as a parent, let me tell you, I've raised middle schoolers. No, a 13-year-old middle schooler, if they're not coming out when I'm expecting them, I'm not just going to go email the teachers. No, this is more of an emergency.
Right.
I'm going in that school. I'm, checking, and it's just weird. The report says, I asked Jennifer if it was common for Maddie to not have her phone, to which she stated it was common for her to forget it because she has ADHD and is extremely forgetful and loses track of time. I asked Jennifer to explain to me where she looked for Maddie. Jennifer states after speaking with a friend, she went to the school to confirm her attendance. However, it was already closed. So by now, at some point, I don't know what time this is, but the school is already closed. So Jennifer backtracked and drove back to Yolanda's office. After Stephan heard Maddie did not show up, he went to Yolanda's office. So that's why they were all like meeting at Yolanda's office and not at the condo. I think that was by design also. Now, granted, Maddie sometimes did walk to her grandma's office, but I think it was a convenient meeting space to try and take the heat off of whatever may have happened.
Absolutely. Whatever may have happened there, and also to clean up. Stephan Stearns never cleaned up, folks. I want to thank you, Elizabeth, for the $9.99 super chat. I appreciate you, the love and compassion and perspective you give, Jay. Shame on the careless breeder. That's the best way for you to say that. Breeder or a momster. That's absolutely ridiculous. And I know now that they were trying to keep the cops away from that makeshift bedroom with a big jug of lube with sheets that probably did have seminal and just fluids all over them. Remember, Stephan Stearns was a dirty monster. He was absolutely a filthy guy. We heard that from the roommate. We even heard that when he went to jail, he didn't shower for 21 days. So he's absolutely a monster. Jay, that's not yelling. Thank you, Lorraine. That's actually how I yell. My voice doesn't get higher than that. This is me yelling. That's probably why my kids just laugh at me when I try to tell them not to do something. They just look at me and laugh, and then luckily I have good kids because that is how I yell. Yeah, this is awful, and now I understand when I hear about that room, the makeshift room, and I'm looking at it on right here from the sheriff's office. You just can't see it. Some of it's redacted. They describe the detective as they call it some kind of maybe like I don't know if it was Madeline's room or what. It's redacted. It just talks about it appearing to be by the front door, like right when you come in a makeshift one. So I'm looking at the documents. I just can't show you yet because they need to be redacted. They photographed all the items though, folks. They photographed it to the detail of the back of the bottle, identified the product as. It literally says masturbation cream, and they photographed that on purpose and collected it and all that. So they're going to find different fluids on it and DNA and so forth. Thank you, Holly J. Well, my son says so now that he's going to be 25. My daughter Even though she's spoiled, she might, yeah, that's because she's spoiled. Our creator will take care of these. You're absolutely right. Marilyn McRae, our creator, will take care of these two despicable people and anybody else that was involved. I believe in a higher power, and the higher power does do that. All right, let's keep going. What's up, Michelle M? Yeah, he's nasty. All we can do is pray. I pray she gets jail. Chumba, you're right. All we can do is pray and put out the vibes and hashtag arrest Jenn Soto so that that can happen and that the police know that we're angry and we want answers. All right. That's what we want is answers. I cannot see. Thank you, Gothic Brie. I cannot see wanting Stefan's room at the front door when you come in, especially if Yolanda came unexpectedly. Yeah, he's not supposed to be there. I don't. That wasn't Stefan's room. That was the room that they used at that time for that particular reason. Justice for Maddie. Yeah, they were just renting out rooms and making it a factory apparently and filming things. Yeah, they did have roommates. Nobody was paying attention. I like to think Maddie gave SS the flat tire. Me too, Summer. I love to think that Maddie is helping to solve her own case. Now, remember, this didn't happen when the roommate that came on our channel was there. It correlates with the time frame that CM moved out of the house, and then Juan, which is Grandpa or Jenn Soto's dad, moved back to Puerto Rico, and CM moved out. Right after that, Stephan Stearns started taking pictures and doing all of that on documentation. We don't know if he was doing it before. Yes, a positive ripple effect. Absolutely. I believe in the power of attraction, folks. The power of attraction can be good or it can be bad. So attract the right things and make it powerful, make it useful. Life artist, love to you. I'm an artist at heart, and my heart is very, I would just say I'm an artist at heart. Okay. Our heart is open too much though. I need to dull things down. Sometimes God gave the flat tire to help Maddie. God is good. I'll leave it on that and let's keep going.
In the condo, I don't know. They all waited for law enforcement to arrive at Yolanda's office, and they did not return home until they were done speaking with the police. I asked Jennifer where Maddie's phone was at the time she had gone to pick up Maddie, to which she stated she had taken it with her when she went to pick her up from school. So Jennifer advised when Maddie forgot her phone, she would bring it to her when she would pick her up. Jennifer tried to look through Maddie's phone while waiting for the police. However, she was in a panic and handed the phone to her sister and niece. They both went through Maddie's phone, and they did not see anything weird on her phone.
Okay, so by then, and thank you, Sammy, for the $49.99 super chat from someone who advocates for children in and out of the courtroom. I appreciate all you do. And I appreciate all you do, Sammy, because that's really hard work. It's sleepless nights. It attaches to you. You can't get that off of you. You can't get that feeling away. You go to sleep thinking about it. You wake up thinking what's going to happen next. So we all appreciate you. Keep coming back to the channel and keep advocating for those children. And let us know if you need anything, if you need a platform or there's somebody missing or somebody needs to get something off of their chest, let us know. Okay? Speaking of art, I got a very sad thinking Maddie would never get to create crafts or finish a book. It is very unfair. And what's unfair is Jenn lying the way she did. She handed the phone to her sister by design. Everything was deleted that she wanted deleted. And then she handed it to her by design so she could say, look, there's nothing on her phone. Look at here. That's not true. Listen to this part next, folks. Listen to this. It's going to make you even more upset. But at the same time, use that passion. Use that power of attraction. Use those vibes. Use the waves of energy that you have for justice and good things. Don't let it sit with you and be angry, okay? So let's use it for good and let's use it to get justice for Maddie and all the other children that have been done wrong and are missing or abused. Let's put that passion into something that's good. Okay, don't let it fester.
Phone. So I'm trying not to be too hard on Jennifer here. Now, during those 911 calls, you could hear, I think, Jennifer in the background when they were trying to find out what was she wearing today. And Jennifer did sound like she was upset or putting on some type of upset voice or act or something. At this point, she's saying she was too upset, to look through Maddie's phone, and she handed the phone to her sister and niece, and they went through it and didn't see anything weird. Now, Jennifer, on the body cam footage, she tells the cop, oh, I went through her phone. We didn't see anything weird on her phone. Jennifer was making it sound like she went through Maddie's phone herself. It turns out she was saying, it's too upset. I'm too upset. Here, you go through it. I don't know what the point of that was, as if she needed an independent witness. Here. Maybe she wanted them to find something on Maddie's phone, and
she absolutely did. It was the opposite, Paula. She didn't want them to find it on the phone, but she wanted it as like an alibi. Like, oh, look at her phone. There's nothing on there. It was the opposite of that. I'm pretty sure. Thank you, Naomi. I found you several weeks ago. I absolutely believe your channel will make a difference. Love you. And we love you back. Yeah, she was trying to get herself an alibi, so to speak. So justice for Maddie, justice for all, justice for Sebastian, justice for Summer. Where is Sebastian? We don't know, and we're not going to talk about. You can talk about him here in chat, but we're not going to bring anything on the channel except for where is Sebastian and when real information comes, because I can't do conspiracy theories and drama on my channel. Thank you, Summer. Jay, just saw Court TV. They're saying Madeline Soto was okay. Thank you. I can play a clip of that after if you want. Let's get through this and we'll be able to see that. All right, let's
say, oh, Jen, look what we found. There's a method to her madness here. I asked Jennifer where they looked for Maddie, which she stated was in the Hunters Creek area, and they returned home at approximately 2,000 to 2,100 hours, which is around 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. So in a different part, when Stefan talked to the cops, he's claiming they didn't really drive around anywhere to look for Maddie. So it's like the cops are talking about these inconsistencies. I asked Jennifer if they went back out after that, to which she advised Stefan had gone back out in the middle of the night with her vehicle. That sounds very shady. Stefan went out in the middle of the night. The middle of which night? Is this Monday night? Monday night into Tuesday? After that body cam video where they all gathered at the office and where they, went after midnight, got some kind of clothing from the condo so the bloodhound had something to sniff. So after that night, Stefan went out in the middle of the night with Jennifer's vehicle? Weird. Where did he go? Did he move Maddie's body that night in hopes it wouldn't be discovered? I explained to Jennifer that her residence was going to be secured and everyone was going to have to stay somewhere else for the night. I also explained Stefan's car would be towed to the sheriff's office for processing because Maddie was last seen in Stefan's car. I provided Jennifer with my cell phone. I asked her to let me know where she and Stefan were going to stay and explained to her she could call me at any time if she needed to speak with me. Okay, now let's move on to the second interview of Stefan Stearns. On February 28th, Detective Acosta and I conducted a second digitally recorded sworn interview with Stefan Stearns. I asked if I had his consent to download his phone or if I needed a search warrant to collect the contents. Stefan said it was fine and provided me with his phone pin. I advised Stefan that while digital forensics was looking through Maddie's phone, they noticed there was a lot of communication between Maddie and him. I asked Stefan to...
And yeah, we're going to talk about that right now. Thank you, Granny to 13. You're amazing. You're probably a granny to 13 children. That's so awesome. I love big families. I love families. I love love. And we make our own family around here. And y'all are part of my family now. So thank you for becoming a member. Stephan Stearns was like mad. And I know this is disgusting to say, but I believe that Stephan Stearns was like a boyfriend of Maddie's. He thought of himself. He thought he was in love with her. It was like his girlfriend. And I did talk about this yesterday. I believe he was very upset when the interviewer asked Jenn Soto if Maddie had any boyfriends or anything. He was back there cracking his knuckles. We're going to talk about that now. She was on the phone with Stephan Stearns a lot. Is that not weird, people? Would you not be weirded out if your daughter was talking to this on again, off again ex-boyfriend that's into Fet Life and all these weird kinky things? Naomi, thank you so much for the super sticker. My house is being torn up right now, so if you hear thuds and stuff, I have a tattoo studio and my studio is detached from the rest of the house. So I'm not in the house per se, but I'm in my studio, and my studio is now my filming studio. So I can hear them breaking down the walls right now and tearing down the ceiling and stuff. I'll get pictures when they're all done so I can show you the house just being massively ripped up. So I want you to know you guys have been supporting me all the way through. Appreciate it. Thank you, Bassett Baby. Hey Jay, not Fat Life. It should have been Fat Life because Jen and STEPHAN Sterns were both fatties, and nothing against anybody that's overweight, but them two are devils, and that's how they bonded was with their gastric sleeve. They were overweight. They got gastric sleeves. They bonded. I'm sure STEPHAN Sterns targeted Jen because he knew she had a small child. It's fetish life. FETLIFE. Fet life. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that. It could be feet life, but no, it's Fet life. 555. Please make a wish, say a prayer. We have 601 people in chat, folks. If you want to see more content from me and you want to see better interviews and more people collabing with me on my channel, all you got to do is just hit that like button, and it helps my channel out so much. Not everyone on FetLife. No, I'm not saying that everyone on FetLife is a monster, Jojo. I'm saying if your man that's on again and off again is into kinky stuff, you don't let your daughter sleep with him and knowing that he's going to wake up with Woody in the morning and then them talking on the phone all day like their boyfriend and girlfriend. That is what you don't do. All right. So yeah, FetLife, that's fine. You can have all you want. Hey, what's up, Jenny? Jenny's in the house. Jenny Esquivel, the advocate. We love you. And she also does a lot. Let's take notes, ladies. Please protect your children. Talk to them. Believe them. Take allegations seriously. Get close to your kids. Talk to them. I couldn't have said that better. Thank you, Jenny, for listening. I have the 896 pages. You might too. Unbelievable. I'm not even reading those right now. We're just gliding over the situation. I want you to know. So when we get into that, it's going to be worse. You might not want to listen. Rhonda Klein, thank you. Super cute. The little baby picture, 1999 super sticker. Thank you so much. And Elizabeth just sent me a $20 Venmo. Thank you. I will help you with a membership. I just see you want a membership. Thank you. If you guys email me and you need help setting up a membership, please do so. If one of the mods would drop a link drop a link in chat to join the community, then you'll get special content. We'll do secret lives, things like that. All right. There's no Fat Life. It's called Fet Life, FETLIFE, and it's a fetish thing. So, all right. Thank you for gifting a membership, Jojo. Let's get back to that so we have time to listen to the possible. I don't know if that's true, but if it's on court TV and they're saying that strangulation occurred, we're going to have to listen to it because there's a strangulation report. So trigger warning for you after that. If you want a membership, you got to like and you got to comment and stuff. The more active you are, the better chance you get. All right, let's keep going. If you guys want me not to run out of time, I still also have to read or we have to do the verdict after this for Wade Wilson. And then I'll go back and I love doing cases on people that are guilty of crime because I don't have to say allegedly because they're guilty of crime. All right, so I'll go and do the story and all that next week.
Explain to me the relationship between him and Maddie. Stephan stated he was like a stepfather to Maddie, and she thinks of him as a dad. I asked Stephan what he and Maddie spoke about when they would FaceTime, and he stated he would speak to both Maddie and Jennifer. When I asked Stephan if he recalled what time he had factory reset his phone, he stated he was not sure because he was not a morning person, but believed it was before he went to the smoke shop. Stephan then stated the update had a weird option about reinstalling everything, and he wasn't paying attention to what he was doing. I asked if he could explain to me how he did the update, and he said it was like some kind of push notification that appeared at the top, and he had ignored it for a long time. STEPHAN stated this took him to a page with a system, and he clicked something and wasn't sure what happened because he wasn't paying attention. After starting the update, the phone reset. Whoops. I asked STEPHAN to explain to me what he did when he returned to get his key fob. So this must have been some point. Getting the clicker, as he called it, maybe this is the point where he claimed he got the clicker, but they're calling it a key fob. This might be a different point. STEPHAN stated he parked, ran inside to grab the key fob, got back in his vehicle, and left the complex for his, quote, morning mission. So I don't know what they're talking about here. I don't know if this is a different instance than the clicker, because obviously he couldn't have driven anywhere without his key fob if it's that type of vehicle where you have to have your fob. Well, he drives older vehicles, so maybe not. I don't know. I know there's lies about a key fob, about a clicker, the gate clicker, who knows?
Okay, so let me just clear that up really quick. What he's talking about is the gate clicker, and he did need that to get in, but he was lying about that to the police. So the fob or the clicker is because the Venetian, wherever they live, the Venetian, whatever the name of the condo was, had a gate, and it had a person in the front guarding the gate to get in and out, and then the back had a gate that wasn't guarded with a clicker. So you need one of those clickers to get in. But what STEPHAN Stearns said was that he needed his clicker because he didn't want to have to go through the front gate because there's large lines. There's no large lines in the morning because everybody was going to work. They had already left to work. So getting back in at that time, there's absolutely not. And that's because a roommate CM told me that there's no lines at that time in the morning that he's talking about. He was just lying because they saw him go back to the Venetian condo and he needed to come up with a lie. So that's the clicker, Paula, that they're talking about.
STEPHAN stated after he dropped Maddie off at 8:40 a.m., he drove directly to the smoke shop and waited approximately 5 or 10 minutes for them to open. I asked STEPHAN.
So really quickly, it wasn't, blunt force was something that came up, and somebody else, there was a child that was passed similar timing. Now they're saying that, but there's documents. So we'll take a look at that after this so we can clear it up, folks.
If he went anywhere else after the smoke shop, and he stated he was probably driving towards the direction of home and did not recall stopping anywhere. I advised STEPHAN his vehicle was seen heading south again at 11 a.m. and asked what he had done between 8:40 a.m. and 10 a.m. STEPHAN stated he had been, quote, cruising around a little bit. I told STEPHAN,
you can't take a plea deal, Oslin. There's no plea. You don't just get to say, I plead. The prosecution has to offer you a plea deal. So there's no deal. No deal unless they ask you, and they're not going to give him a plea deal.
He had originally stated he had been at the smoke shop for about 5 minutes and headed home. STEPHAN stated he may have been lingering in the area, but had made his way home. I advised STEPHAN I needed help explaining why there was an hour and 20-minute gap, which he stated he was not sure what to say since it had been a normal day. Yeah. So there goes Stearns again with that normal. How normal that Monday was, just like any other day, he always claims. Back to the report. STEPHAN again stated the smoke shop was supposed to open soon, and he made his way there and was not in any rush. STEPHAN again stated he was not able to explain the time delay since he had not gone anywhere in particular. I asked STEPHAN where he went after the smoke shop, and he said home. I asked STEPHAN if the smoke shop was 10 minutes from his residence, to which he stated it was 15 to 20 minutes. I reminded STEPHAN he had originally stated it was a 10-minute drive, and he advised time was not a strong suit of his. Detective Acosta asked STEPHAN what time the smoke shop opened, which he stated 10 a.m. Detective Acosta then informed STEPHAN if it opened at 10 a.m. and he dropped Maddie off at 8:40 a.m., he would be gone an hour before they were scheduled to open. STEPHAN said he did not think it would be open, but hoped he would get there early enough for them to open. STEPHAN then stated he arrived about 15 to 20 minutes before they had opened. Stay tuned, we're going to talk about his injuries, and I'm going to see if I can find them in the video. STEPHAN then said he waited a few minutes after 10 a.m. for them to open, but he realized they were not opening and he left.
So as you can hear, the lies that are spilling out and the documents that you see, the police are making they're making their own notes about what they think, and we'll go through that. They document what STEPHAN Stearns, Jenn Soto, what they say, what anybody says, and then after they document it, they'll tell you, they'll put their notes what they think. He was just lying. Every time they asked him a question, he had an answer, and it was a lie. He didn't have a timeline, and they knew that, And that's why they moved so quickly and the officer took his phone, was because of all the lies and the timelines and the things he was saying just didn't match up. Even though him and Jen had a solid story, their story wasn't matching up. Well, her dad lived in Texas. Tyler Wallace lived in Texas. Jenn Soto lived in Florida. He's a military guy, and there's a lot of reasons why, but we're not going to get into that right now. She didn't, and he loves her. He still loves her. He loved her. He has part of her ashes. I can speculate that there was parental alienation going on with the dad. When you're letting your boyfriend abuse your daughter, you're not going to want your daughter at dad's house to figure things out. So that's all speculation on my part. But Tyler Wallace and Tatiana Wallace love and loved Maddie.
Costa stated he had not waited past 10 a.m. since his vehicle was heading southbound on John Young Parkway at 10 a.m. STEPHAN stated his vehicle was still in front of the smoke shop at 10 a.m., waiting for them to turn on the open sign. And I advised STEPHAN his time frame was not making sense. These will be great interviews to watch because these cops are like, look, whew.
Allie, you don't have to leave. I'm going to show you after. It's right up there. It says at Madeline Soto, and then it says strangled report. There's a report. So if you can wait a little bit, then I'll talk to you about the report. Let me know. I have it right here. It's all queued up and ready to go.
Stay tuned because later we're going to get into not graphic, but a little troubling detail about the CSAM found on Stern's phone. According to STEPHAN, he was trying to help us the best he could. I reminded STEPHAN what he had stated and asked how he was there at 10 a.m. when it was approximately a 10-minute drive from where he had dropped Maddie off. STEPHAN stated he had taken no particular route to the smoke shop, but he made his way there. I asked STEPHAN if he had issues with his memory, and he stated he was diagnosed with ADHD. He did not have his phone on him and was not sure of the time. I asked if he had a clock in the car, and he stated he believed he did, but it was not his car. STEPHAN then stated he was 90% sure he was in the smoke shop parking lot at around 10 a.m. I asked STEPHAN when he returned to get his key fob, had Maddie gone inside with him? STEPHAN stated she had not because she was asleep. I asked STEPHAN again about the location where he got his flat tire. STEPHAN stated everything looked the same and he was drawing a blank about any specific businesses and only recalled pulling into a plaza. STEPHAN stated he was driving towards John Young Parkway and US 192 when it occurred. STEPHAN recalled going to a Target on US 192 near Walmart and was going to go to House of Cards but got a flat tire.
I got a shout out. What's up, Strategic Eye Show? Love the work you're doing. The story is so sad, and yet it was avoidable. And the Strategic Eyes Show, I checked out your channel earlier, and I'm going to email you. I believe I have your email. I think one of your moderators reached out to me, and I'd love to talk to you further. And the community here is great. We keep everything 100% real, and we're also very kind to each other. So it would be great if we could do some kind of collab. And yeah, this is definitely sad, and it was absolutely avoidable. They could have caught it so many times. Many people could have caught it, and yet they didn't. So thank you for the super chat.
Tire somewhere before he got to Oak Street. STEPHAN was not sure how long it took to change his tire, but believed he returned home at approximately 14:35 hours, which is about 2:35 p.m. So isn't that convenient? He gets home at 2:35 p.m. Oops, just missed Jennifer by 5 minutes. I can't go with you to go pick up Maddie. And oops, Jennifer just so happens to leave a whole hour early. I got to leave at 2:30, just missed STEPHAN, so I can get to Maddie and wait for her an hour and know she's not going to be there. These two, I feel like they, colluded. STEPHAN again apologized and stated his brain did not work properly because he had ADHD. While speaking,
yeah, he had excuse after excuse, and I'm so glad the cops did such a great job. And the tips that came in, folks, if the tip didn't come in for that flat tire, that guy's an angel. He's a saint, and Maddie's helping solve her own crime. You're curious about the detail. Did the phone convo come in from between Maddie and Stephan? Sorry. The chat's flying. There's 600 people here. Over 600. It keeps fluctuating. So I'm not sure what you mean by the phone conversation info. It's in the 896 pages about STEPHAN Sterns and Maddie talking a lot. So I'm wondering if the text messages are going to get in there at some point. We're going to see what they're talking about. If any of that's going to come out, and if we're going to see it. Remember, Maddie was a minor, folks. So the COD and all the autopsy, they're not going to show that easily.
With Stephan, I noticed he was wearing a blue shirt. In the videos from earlier in the day, Stephan was observed wearing a red shirt. Stephan stated he had not changed clothes since the previous morning and did not believe he had showered either. Ugh. I asked Stephan if I could take a picture of his hands, to which he advised me it was fine. In the pictures, I noticed Stephan had a significant scar, approximately 2 to 3 inches long, on the top part of his right wrist. So there's a scar somewhere in here, and I was trying to look. I'll see if we can examine the body cam video again to see if we see this scar. Stephan also had minor scratches to the top part of his left hand. I informed Stephan his phone was going to be downloaded overnight and he would probably not get it back until the following morning, and he stated that was fine. I don't know. I bet you Maddie put up a fight, whatever the heck happened. I mean, I've heard some troubling things about her potential.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to see pictures of the scratch marks. And I'm sure she did put up a fight, folks. I'm sure it wasn't as simple as just an easy, whatever they did, whether it was blunt force or strangulation. We're not really going to know for sure. And I'm not sure when we'll know. Now, I'm going to show that clip after I see Vinnie Politan saying that the whole episode is about that. But I'll go right to that part. They have credible sources. But at the same time, when we thought STEPHAN Stearns was at the birthday party on Court TV, we saw Maddie, or we saw STEPHAN Stearns in a balloon. That didn't exist, folks. So things come out, leakage comes out. That's not true. So we don't know. We're really going to know until all the documents come out, and it's not in the documents that I have.
Injuries, and I guess I shouldn't mention them, but I think people in Florida are talking and they're learning more about what happened with this case. I think that little girl put up a fight. The document next goes into troubling detail on page 35 about the CSAM of Maddie found.
Yeah, CSAM child essay material. Petty Mason, I'm going to get back to you. I did see that. I've been wanting to get a hold of you. Thank you for messaging me. I'm glad that you're here. I hope you become a member soon. If we're gifting memberships, hopefully you get one. I really loved your reading style of that. When I heard you reading on another channel, I was like, oh, she's great. She needs more. Needs more attention and more praise for the work that you do. So thank you for reaching out.
On Stearns's phone, so many photos, and photos of her with no clothes on and all this stuff, and he was like having her pose and whatever. Both Stearns and Jennifer were given separate rides to a press conference that was scheduled. However, the report states that prior to finishing the interview with Jennifer, I was advised the Violent Crimes Squad had located a video of Stephan discarding something in the trash compactor located in his apartment complex on February 26th at 7:35 a.m. In this video, they observed a female wearing a green sweater in the front passenger seat of the vehicle. The female appeared to be completely slumped over with her mouth ajar. Investigators went on to match a tire tread to Stephan's vehicle nearby a white trash bag that contained a black backpack with a purple Hawaiian print and a white crock. Inside the backpack, CSI located an Orange County public school computer with Maddie's name on it. After Stephan's interview, the Orange County Sheriff's Office Forensics Unit responded to Interview Room 1 in reference to a DNA search warrant for Stephan. CSI took several pictures of Stephan's body and penis and collected all his clothing. Detective Junko and I located a black mark on Stephan's penis, which was consistent with the photos on his cell phone. So it's some kind of like a mark or a mole or whatever, and that's different from the coloring another detective describes, but it's obviously pretty distinctive.
So there's a black mark and a pink mark, and these documents that Paula's not showing is because there's so many things that need to be redacted. If you go to Grizzly True Crime, you'll see a lot of them. She redacts them, but they're hard to listen to, folks. They're hard to get through, and we're doing 1,000-foot overview, if you know what that means. We're not even, I have the documents, but I'm not showing you right now because I can't, because they have so many things in there that are not redacted yet. So I just can't show them to you, but we're learning as this comes out, and you could consume as much content. When you're done here, you can go over to, there's so many people covering this that have the documents, but it's just presenting them in a proper manner that is not going to re-victimize the family or Maddie as a person that she was. So we want to be respectful. We're going to go over that. We will do that. I promise we'll do that here in a respectful manner together. Okay, so the documents are there, and the real documents are here, and the real evidence is here, and we're gonna get to it.
And it's important because it pegs him as the criminal in these photos with this young girl. Pictures of Stephan's scar on his right wrist were also taken. Stephan was taken into custody for the arrest warrant authored by detectives with the Kissimmee Police Department. And we watched that little perp walk and everything. The report goes on to say how Stern's black freckle mark, as well as his face, was visible in some of these heinous photos. They've got him dead to rights. Thank God he was not very smart. I hate that this little girl had to suffer some of these things that I won't even read.
And Paula's right. If you guys did have those documents, they're really hard to get through and read because they're so descriptive. They have to be, that it hurts your soul to read them and think about a little girl that had to deal with that guy's junk and what he was doing with it, and the graphic nature and the things where he was putting it, doing with it, positions, the way he positioned her. It's all just, he's a monster. And where was Jenn this whole time? I'm not going to give her the excuse. I'm not going to let her have that excuse. So let's listen to this a little more. I got to answer this while we're doing it. Sorry.
It gets too graphic, but thank God he was not smart. He was stupid enough to put his face in some of these photos or videos, whatever parts of Maddie's body, and so they can identify what he was doing. They also collected a Solo lotion, for it's a self-pleasuring cream, from a black backpack in the condo. So I'm leaving out the disturbing details found in this PDF. Yeah, it's just kind of graphic, and it just, the witness information, I don't feel comfortable, publishing any of that anywhere. Additional reports say that Maddie was belted into her seatbelt with her head tilted and mouth open when Stearns was driving her around. Now, just like people assumed when that great reporter Shannon Butler, she stated that Stearns moved Maddie's body, indeed it was to the trunk of his car. According to page 87 of this report, Orange County Sheriff's Office Violent Crimes Detective Leonard Jones observed surveillance footage that revealed at 9:40 a.m. Stearns' vehicle turned onto the Holiday Inn Club Vacations located at 9271 South John Young Parkway in Orlando. He turned there from Emissary Avenue, then proceeded into their parking garage. At approximately 9:41 a.m., the vehicle arrived on the top level of the parking garage, then backed into a parking space.
All right, this is the part that they're getting to where they've seen the body, Maddie's body, being put into the trunk, folks. And sorry, I had to answer the phone call. The guys are ripping my house apart, and they couldn't finish it today because the van wasn't, or the truck wasn't big enough for them to take all the sheetrock out. So they have to come back and bring another, whatever. Thank you for being patient and doing that with me. Thank you, JoJo, for gifting a membership. This part, trigger warning to you folks, but I am glad that they did catch this and they did see this. Oops, mole, I meant that type face palm. Yeah, you guys are all, I want him to rot in prison, and I want Jenn to go for as long as she can for letting this happen. Whether or not Jenn knew or didn't, she handed to the devil. Yeah, hangs up, not gives a nod. I am busy all the time, JoJo. You don't even know. Hashtag arrest Jenn Soto now. And welcome everybody that's new here. Let's keep going.
At approximately 9:42 a.m., a fair-skinned male wearing what appeared to be a dark hat, reddish shirt, and tan pants exited the vehicle from the driver's seat and then walked to the back of the vehicle and opened the trunk. The male then walked to the front passenger side of the vehicle, opened the door, then proceeded to carry what appeared to be a limp female body to the trunk of the vehicle. At approximately 9:44 a.m., the same male subject entered the driver's seat of the same vehicle and drove away. So at some point, I guess Stearns was thinking, oh, I can't be here with Maddie all slumped over and her mouth ajar, driving around with her. I better move her to the trunk. This report even speaks of...
This was so hard for me to listen to, folks, and me having to read this. I have to read all of this stuff and then come back and report to you, redact things and go over it. So Grizzly True Crime, Gisela, she did that. So go over to her channel after and watch it. It's in full detail. She's just amazing. She's on the top list of being an idol, and she's why I started my channel. But thank you, Giselle. That's cool. I didn't know that she commented that she shouted out guilty of crime. That's amazing. Thank you, Gisela. I said Gisela from Grizzly True Crime. I love her. I've been following her for years when she just was talking to herself. We all started talking to ourselves at one point.
Of finding evidence of Stearns recording his roommate in secret. Now let's get back to another interview with Jennifer. On Wednesday, February 28th, now this is when Stearns will be arrested that day, but he doesn't get arrested, I guess, until that night. Detective Andrew Calise with the Orange County Sheriff's Office Homicide Unit assisted in investigating a missing person juvenile and interviewed with Jennifer. After answering a few questions, Detective Calise stopped the interview and waited for detectives from the Kissimmee Police Department. But during the interview, Jennifer confirmed that someone, it's redacted, lives with her, and that her boyfriend of approximately 7 years was STEPHAN Stearns. As the interview continued, Jennifer stated that on rare occasions, Maddie and STEPHAN slept in the same bed. According to Jennifer, the reason for this is so she can get some sleep, because sometimes all three of them sleep in the same bed. Jennifer also confirmed with Detective Calise that she and STEPHAN had been sexually intimate. Detective Calise presented Jennifer with various images that were recovered from Stephan's cell phone. The first image was a hand placed on the buttocks of a white female. After viewing the image, Jennifer identified this hand belonging to Stephan. So yeah, even though it was written quirky in that other incident report we read, and there's a ton of them in here, I didn't take it as Jennifer just didn't recognize anything. I don't know whose hand that is. I don't know whose junk that is. I know some of it she acted like she was in denial, but some of it she didn't. So now we get more details. Next, Detective...
Yeah, see, this is hard to listen to. So again, trigger warning. If you're reading this stuff, it's really bad, and it's nightmare status when you read it, because I'm a visual person, and when I'm reading, I visualize things, or anything you tell me, I visualize it. Like I told you before, I've done tattoos for 25 years. So if you came to me and said, I want this, this, and this, I already see it in my head, and I just have to put it down on paper. But when I'm reading these documents, I'm seeing them in my head. It's not good for anybody's mental health. So let us report on it. And I'm glad that you're here. Thank you for supporting Guilty of Crime, True Crime, Plunder True Crime, Grizzly True Crime, The Docket. There's so many more. Oblivious Benson. A lot of channels you're going to be seeing that we come up with, that we're going to collaborate with. And if we don't, it's behind the scenes. So let's keep following those that are respectful of victims and giving voices to people that don't have them. What a great community we have. And even though this is a tragedy, it's bringing us all together, and it's going to help a lot of people. And, having social media like this and YouTube and all these things, having that instant communication is what helped to find Maddie's body. Someone asked earlier about the flat tire, and the gentleman that tipped in the flat tire, they wouldn't have looked for the body in that area because it was really far out had that not happened. Now, one other thing I'm going to address is about her being pregnant. That's not in the documentation anywhere. And if she was, they would have charged him like they did Chris Watts, Scott Peterson. Nowhere in there does it say that there was another body that was involved. So that would have already came out, I believe. So I'm not going to say it's a no, but it's a probably not, that Maddie was probably not pregnant.
Calise showed Jennifer a close-up photograph of a white male penis. Jennifer viewed the picture but was unable to identify the penis. Detective Calise then presented Jennifer with another image of a penis pulled over a pair of pants. Again, Jennifer viewed this image and identified the penis as belonging to Stephan. Jennifer believed this was Stephan's junk based on the clothing and blanket near the junk. So that's where the interview paused as they waited for Kissimmee officers to arrive. In the meantime, there was an interview conducted on February 29th with a woman who called the Orange County Sheriff's Office named Marilee since she knew Stearns. She came to know him through working with him at Disney. She explained their relationship became intimate around December of 2022 and ended in May of 2023. During this time, she said Stearns told her he was separated from his girlfriend. She said Stearns told her that although he was separated from his girlfriend, he still slept at Jennifer's residence, and specifically in the bed with Maddie. She said Stearns justified this behavior by saying he needed to cuddle with her so she could fall asleep, as if Maddie needed him. I mean, come on.
See, nobody's telling anybody anything. They're hearing all this. I'm sure Maddie said something to her friends here and there. They had girls talk. Listen, look at Paula's face while she's reading this. You guys are going to be blown away if you haven't already watched some of the information, or because everybody's going to have their own take on this 896 pages. They have their own perspective. and they're going to tell certain things, and other channels are going to tell certain other things. So you guys are just going to be blown away this whole freaking weekend. It's insane what's going on.
Further recalled a conversation she had with Stearns where he told her that he woke up in the bed with Maddie with an erection and had to turn around in the bed. She felt the comments Stearns made to her about sleeping with Maddie were inappropriate, and she stopped talking to him shortly after.
Of course it was inappropriate. We talked about that the whole time. And of course he woke up with a Woody every day because that's what guys do. And then you hand your daughter over. What's up, Wolfpack? And Petty Mason? All y'all are here. It's good to see you.
After they were made. Now, they also interviewed a lot of Maddie's friends. Of course, none of them named. They'll just say like a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old or whomever. But in an interview with one of Maddie's friends on February 27th, 2024, the day after Maddie went missing, an interview with one of Maddie's friends on February 27th, 2024, at 1:05 p.m., the friend told police that Maddie told her she didn't get along with her mom. She had heard from another friend that Maddie's mom told her she was going to kick her out of the house and disown her when she turned 18 or 19. This friend talked to Maddie every morning except the morning of Monday, February 26th. When she called Maddie that morning, there was no answer. And that's not the first person who's going to talk about Maddie's volatile relationship with Jennifer. Again, it could be just normal teenage stuff. And I know some parents might jokingly say to their kids, when you turn 18, you better get out of this house. And some of them mean it. And I hate that. But I hate, there's so much discord between Maddie and Jen. The friend further stated that.
Okay, so here's the part that we're going to talk about where there is a discord between Maddie and Jen and their tiffs they had and jealousy, and I'm sure there's a lot more of it. We're just glazing over it. Jennifer, there's a process to getting documents. You have to, it's a FOIA, however you say that, FOIA, FOIA. You have to fill out forms and do lots of things. I would just you have to look at state to state. I don't even know how to get into that right now, but yeah, I want to answer it. This is disgusting, and it gets worse, folks. Right now, this is just the very top layer.
Maddie only mentioned her biological father briefly, but she was always on a call with her stepdad, Stephan. Stephan and Maddie were always texting each other or talking on the phone. Maddie loved him and they were really close, explained the friend. Which is sad to me because when a child has been groomed and gaslit and everything, Maddie had to be so confused. She's known this man since she was, 8 years old, and he's taken advantage of her so often in such horrible, despicable ways. Of course, Maddie might have confused that with love. The way Stephan is like, yeah, when she gets into it with her mom, I'm the one she comes to. I'm the one she needs. And he totally took advantage of that, her naivete, her vulnerability. That's why it's such a horrible crime, and just used her. She had to be so confused, and Maddie was tired all the time. Her grades were suffering. There was so much turmoil. Stephan is Maddie's mom's boyfriend, and he has been in her life for a long period of time. Stephan recently moved out of the home, but he still visits often. Maddie never disclosed anything inappropriate that Stephan said or did, and that's a recurring theme, even with counselors, with friends, with others. They will say, yeah, I saw, it was weird. Stephan might have been saying something weird or whatever, or I didn't like him or whatever. But they do say, yeah, Maddie never told them, okay, he's doing this specific thing to me, which of course is no fault of Maddie's because
right. And he had been doing that. STEPHAN STERNS had been abusing Maddie for years. It almost seemed like it was a normal thing in that household, and everybody just turned a blind eye to it. Michelle, I say that every time. I wish they wouldn't call stepdad. He's not a stepdad. He's no kind of parental figure whatsoever. The only good thing about them calling him that is that he's being charged even harsher because he was a parental figure, so to speak, and he did unthinkable things to her. And so when you're a child's in your care and you have that status, you're gonna be charged harsher, which thank God, because death penalty, here you come for STEPHAN STERNS. I hope I get to see it in my lifetime.
Many victims do not say anything because they have been threatened or they even feel embarrassed. They might incorrectly feel like it's their fault. God knows how Maddie was feeling. Normally, Maddie's mom or grandparents bring her to school. The last time she talked to Maddie, this was a friend, was on Sunday, February 25th at Maddie's birthday party. The party took place at Maddie's grandparents' home. Neither Maddie's mom nor her mom's boyfriend were in attendance at the birthday party, so there, we finally have the answer to that question. And different friends talk about how Maddie was upset.
Okay, we finally have the answer. I had to tell you at the beginning just because it's been bothering me also. STEPHAN STERNS wasn't there. The balloon was photoshopped. I don't know what happened. Nobody was at the birthday party. None of the STEPHAN STERNS or Jenn Soto, I don't think that they wanted them there. I think Grandma wanted her own separate birthday party, And she definitely didn't want Steph in there, but I think her and Jen had a little bit of a rift going on, just like Maddie and Jen. Okay. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Set that she didn't get more gifts, or she usually gets, more money for her birthday. A lot of friends, I guess, didn't show up. It was just sad. The same friend said Jennifer called her during the evening of February 26, 2024, and asked her if she was with Maddie because she was missing. Jennifer told this friend she last saw Maddie at 8:45 a.m. when she dropped Maddie off at the church near the school. She said she dropped her off at the church because Maddie wanted to walk to school, which is unusual. So the friends are saying, oh, Jennifer told me that she dropped Maddie off at 8:45 a.m. at the church. So Jennifer was telling a lot of people the same old thing she did with the news. We dropped her off, but then admitted, oh, it was really STEPHAN. Maddie's counselor was even interviewed, and Maddie expressed to her how she had stress at home, including fighting with her mom. Mom would get upset because Maddie is forgetful or doesn't clean up like she is expected to. She disclosed when mom yells at her, it makes her feel overstimulated, and then she can't respond the way she wants to. Maddie reported that her mom's boyfriend was living in the home, and she didn't like him because he was, quote, weird. So Maddie did open up to this counselor a little bit. When she pressed Maddie about why she felt he was weird, she claimed it was because he ate all their food, hangs out in their living room, and makes her feel uncomfortable. Maddie reported in December that mom's boyfriend was moving out of the home.
Okay, are you listening to this? So we're talking about different things happening and reports that happened, things that possibly could have came out. Maddie talked a little bit. So listen to this. This is all good information, all real information, and now we're getting the speculation out of the way so we can move on to the next part. Hashtag arrest Jenn Soto. And this piece of shit right here is standing there in the middle of this office, knowing that Maddie's already gone. He disposed of her just out in the middle of nowhere where they wouldn't have found her right away had he not got a flat tire. Knowing what he did, standing there with the family worried. The only one that wasn't worried was him and Jenn Soto, but they were worried for themselves.
Home, and that made her happy. So she was happy that STEPHAN was moving out. Okay, so it made Maddie happy when STEPHAN was moving out. So even though she didn't tell the counselor everything that was going on, Maddie did express a little bit of her angst and just her repulsion, how much she was repulsed by Stearns. She just mentioned the safe topics like, oh, he's always hanging out, he's always eating all our food, he makes me uncomfortable. But Maddie never disclosed anything inappropriate happening between her and her mother's boyfriend. And it's sad. I wish Maddie could have reached out, and you never know if STEPHAN threatened her or, emotionally, of course, physically, all of this harm he brought to her, but we never know what he did to keep her silent. And
you know what? Sometimes victims start to identify with their abuser, and they actually think at some points that they like them, they love them, they think they're in a relationship with them, they get this weird connection to them. And I know that because I have friends that have been abused like that for many years, and they talk about it now. We're in our 40s. I'm going to be 45. One of my friends specifically that's probably 44 or 45, this happened to him when he was a teenager, and his dad was having a sexual relationship with him from the time he was 14 to 16, 14 to 16 or 14 to 17, right at the prime age of being a teenager where you should be in a relationship with girls, especially when you're straight. He's straight, and his dad was having an intimate relationship with him for years. And you start to identify with that person and think that you have feelings for him. Yeah, absolutely. But he talks about it all the time because he needs to heal and get it out. It's horrible, but I'm always the one that's there to listen, never any judgment. And I know people heal when they talk about things.
He could have said, oh, I'll hurt someone you love, or you never know. There are a series of interviews with 12 and 13-year-olds who described Maddie as having stopped taking her medication on February 14th, 2024, and that she would have her good and bad days. Some of them mentioned Maddie wanted to build a house in the woods when she turned 13. But one of the friends cleared it up. It was only if World War III broke out. Some of them talk about Maddie's crush, I guess some kid who reportedly didn't like her back. Some speak about her bad relationship with her mother. Another friend spoke about STEPHAN recently moving out of Maddie's house for an unknown reason, and when asked why he moved out, Maddie, quote, ignored the question. There's even a conversation about Maddie's menstrual cycle, like I talked about, being a week or two late in January 2024, but this friend didn't think anything of it because she, quote, believed Maddie was a virgin, end quote. Now, all these things can become really integral, even if some people might think it's distasteful. None of it is Maddie's fault. Like mentioning her late menstrual cycle or the things, her friends experienced, all of that. It's so good they spoke out about what Maddie told them. None of this is.
And we're going to hear more, folks, when it goes to court. We're going to hear more, but there are a lot of children involved in this case, and when children are involved, we don't know how much we're going to hear on TV, right? So it's going to be a lot different from what they show us. Maybe court documents will be released. It might not even be a trial that is televised. It might be like the Lori Vallow trial. So we don't know, but we're learning this together, and it's the real details are horrible.
To make Maddie in any way look bad or disparage her or disrespect her as a victim. She is obviously a victim of this heinous man. These are just facts that the jury can deal with when they're.
Yeah, the jury will have to deal with it. Okay, Pisces, I'm going to speculate no, but I could be wrong. I don't know. It's not in the paperwork.
Determining, the appropriate punishment now that this is a death penalty case. How heinous is heinous, and this will really all come into play. But the same friend did say that Jennifer was never freaking out, and she thought it was weird that she said she dropped Maddie off to school when STEPHAN said he did. There are hundreds and hundreds of pages of cops figuring out where STEPHAN's dad was during critical hours. Now, I didn't see anything about STEPHAN's dad helping him or anything, but the cops did their job. Pages and pages and pages of STEPHAN's dad and where he was that Monday morning, these hours, that hours. It's a lot of maps. It's a whole bunch of stuff. Now, finally, let's get to this interview starting on page 872, wherein Jennifer stated the last time she saw.
So, yeah, we've been on together for almost 2 hours. Paula from Plunder's video is 1 hour and 2 minutes, and we're on 800 and something or other. That's why I say we have a lot to go through, and I didn't want to be silent today. I wanted to let you know that I'm on this. I'm reading the documents. I have to take my time with it and find the things that stand out to me and present them in a way that are not going to re-victimize anybody, but also give you the real truth.
Maddie was on the night of Sunday, February 25th at approximately 2300 hours or 11 p.m. inside the home when she was going to bed. At this time, Jennifer sent Maddie and STEPHAN up to the guest bedroom. All three were originally going to sleep in one bed. However, Jennifer stated she needed to get some rest due to her new job, making her very tired. She would sleep better alone, and STEPHAN was going to get Maddie ready for school in the morning anyway. STEPHAN no longer lives in the home with Jennifer and Maddie as he moved out in December of 2023. However, he has come to visit 2 or 3 times since then. When STEPHAN visits the home, he will sleep in the guest bedroom upstairs while Jennifer and Maddie sleep together downstairs, but obviously not all the time. The reason STEPHAN moved out of the house this time, we get the excuse, is because he was offered a job by his father. However, the job fell through and he's trying to move back. All these excuses as for why STEPHAN and Jennifer broke up and why STEPHAN moved out, you'll hear him say, I have to take care of my elderly parents, and they're deaf people.
You can't plead to something, Sharon, unless they offer you something. So he's not going to plead to anything. If they're not offering it, he could say all he wants. They're going to take it to trial, I'm sure. So no plea deal if it's not offered, and I doubt they're going to offer him anything. They have so much evidence that there's no reason for that.
Yelling at each other. Now it's because he was offered a job by his dad, but the job fell through. Maddie wouldn't say the real reason, to her friend why STEPHAN moved out. There's something about him moving out, and it happened in December. And I can't help but wonder, is it related to the abuse Maddie suffered? Did Jennifer know anything? Did they break up? Did she say, this isn't right? Did Jennifer not know? What's behind him moving out? Typically, when STEPHAN visits, he will stay for a few days. However, this time he planned to stay for a week. STEPHAN either arrived on Saturday, February 24th, or the morning of Sunday, February 25th. However, Jennifer does not remember when. On the morning of February 26, 2024, Jennifer was woken up by STEPHAN taking their dog for a walk approximately 7 or 8 a.m. So that's a different, she didn't get out of bed, she claims, till 9. Now she's claiming, STEPHAN woke her up around 7 or 8 when he was going to walk the dog. Jennifer further explained she did not actually hear Maddie getting ready in the morning, specifically as there are also 2 roommates in the home. Jennifer fell back asleep shortly after being woken up. At approximately 9 a.m., Jennifer woke up again, and STEPHAN had not yet returned home after taking Maddie to school. Jennifer left for an appointment at approximately 9:30. STEPHAN called Jennifer on the phone at approximately 10:18 a.m. to inform her he just returned home from completing some errands. Stearns. Stephan informed Jennifer he originally planned to take Maddie to a nearby McDonald's for breakfast. However, Maddie did not wish to go, so he took her directly to school. Stephan also informed Jennifer he attempted to go to a smoke shop to get e-cigarette supplies immediately after dropping Maddie off. However, the shop was closed. Stephan then returned to the home at approximately 10 a.m. and spent some time there before going back out to the smoke shop. Jennifer returned to the home at approximately 11:15 a.m.
Okay, we're finally getting a timeline, folks. We were all wondering where Jenn was the whole time. We still don't know where she was that night or like what time she got home yet. I haven't dug through that, and I'm sure Paula would have said that. So that night we don't know Jenn's all her information, but we're getting a timeline that day. So she did go to her appointment. There's pings, there's cell phone tower maps, all of that's in there, and it's not on this episode, of course. And Lori Alexander, thank you for telling us about he was only with Jenn to have access to Maddie. Him and Jenn weren't together and hadn't been. He told locals that he was going to see Maddie for her birthday. I did hear rumors that they were on and off again, but not that they were like never together. They were together, but yeah, he definitely used Jenn for access to Maddie for sure.
At that time, Stephan had returned to the home. Afterward, Jennifer waited at home until 14:30 or 2:30 p.m., at which time she left to pick up Maddie at school. This point in the report speaks a bit about Maddie's relationship with her bio dad and how they don't see each other often, but they communicate sometimes by phone. It was sad. There were parts in there. It's got to be so heartbreaking for her dad, but there were parts when friends talked about, oh, Maddie didn't really talk with her bio dad that often. Well, there was one time where Jennifer was threatening Maddie when saying, I'm going to kick you out, or I'm going to go send you to live with your dad. I wish she would have. I mean, she would have had a much better life. She would have likely been alive and unharmed. But there are friends that talk about, well, Maddie didn't really get along with her bio dad or didn't really know him or just talk to him occasionally. Apparently, there was another interview with Jennifer, February 27th, 2024 at 8:04 p.m., wherein Jennifer did not recognize a vehicle presented to her by cops, but she said the individual may have been Maddie because the person appeared to be wearing a light-colored top with darker-colored bottoms. I don't know what video this one is. Jennifer reaffirmed that Stearns was not home when she woke up at 9 a.m. on February 26, 2024. Jennifer called Stearns several times. Stearns returned her call at approximately 10 a.m. and told her he accidentally left his phone at home. Now, on February 28, 2024, at 3:02 p.m.
All right, let's listen to this timeline real close. I'm a visual person, so I really want to visualize this when we do it together. So listen close because there's a lot of information coming at you. We're at the 2-hour mark. We're gonna wrap this up soon. I will show the Vinnie Politan, its timestamp report of Maddie. It says being strangled, so I'll show that to you real quick and then we'll head out, but we're still going, so hang in there. We have 620 people. I hope there's 619 likes at least. Thank you for being here with me today, and I hope that you keep coming back and listening to what I have to say about all of the documents.
Yeah, so Stearns still isn't arrested. En route from Town Place Suite at Flamingo Crossings
Another
to the
one.
OCSO Central Operations Building, an investigator captured a curious conversation with Jennifer. The investigator wrote, I offered Jennifer a courtesy ride from the hotel that she and Stephan were staying at. Oh, so they were staying together. So that tells us Jennifer and Stephan were staying at the hotel together. So she offered them a courtesy ride from the hotel.
Okay, folks, that is the hotel part. She just said it. Jenn and Stephan were staying at the hotel together. What were they doing at the hotel together? Why'd they need a hotel? Because Stephan wasn't supposed to be at the house. I'm telling you right now. And I do, Lisa, you nailed it. This is what I think. I think that Jenn didn't go to the party because Stephan wasn't allowed. I can see her doing that too. And that was my first thought. And then even further, my second thought, my third thought, and now again.
To the OCSO Central Operations Building, and they went separately, Jennifer and Stephan. You know, they try and divide and conquer, separate them so they can get these separate interviews, see whose stories don't line up. Jennifer accepted the offer, and I transported her in my agency-issued vehicle in the passenger seat. During the transport, Jennifer and I had a brief conversation. While speaking, I
Here
noted
it is.
that Jennifer referred to Maddie using the past tense several times when she mentioned her. I inquired about whether or not it was normal to allow Maddie and Stefan to sleep in the same room, unsupervised. Jennifer replied, this was not common practice. However, she did not have any suspicion that anything inappropriate would occur between the two. Jennifer used to be very hypervigilant around Stefan. However, as the years have gone by, she has allowed Maddie and him to be alone because they get along very well. This conversation was audio recorded. Boy, wait till we hear that one. The interview of Maddie's grandmom, I'm assuming that happened on February 27th, 2024. It's redacted, but it looks like it's her, revealed that she does not like Stefan. The detectives have written all about these inconsistencies between the timelines provided by Stefan and Jennifer. Also,
Yeah. Arrest Jennifer Soto already, people, please. No, I don't think the grandma knew about it, but I think she was suspicious that something was going on. I think if she knew about it, she would have went in and regulated. But no, I don't think she knew. Suspicion is enough, however. And nowadays, if you think something and you have a problem with somebody about something, you gotta speak up so that something like this doesn't happen.
many school officials spoke about Maddie's grades suffering, how she had trouble regulating her emotions. It's no wonder with all that hell that Stefan put Maddie through. And I must say, Jennifer, who didn't take precautions to protect her. I don't want to be too harsh on Jennifer. I know there are men out there who did not truly know that their spouse, their significant other, was harming their child in this way. But with Jennifer, I almost kind of feel something else going on here, especially the consistent theme about Maddie and Jennifer not getting along. I feel like, part of me feels like, and you know how this can happen, Jennifer had Maddie with, of course, Tyler, who is Maddie's biological father, biological dad. They never married, and then Tyler went on to marry Tatiana, and, they look like a great couple. Was Jennifer so enraged with hatred about, oh, this not working out? You know how some women are like, oh, you remind me just like your father, and they take out their ire and their anger on the kid. Like, did Jennifer really love her daughter, and did it just go awry? This horrible man Stearns coming into their lives and just making everything horrible and worse. And how could she be so hyper vigilant around Stefan previously? I mean, she knows at least how freaky he was, I guess. But then I guess maybe it's possible, I try and leave all options open. In her naivete, she might have thought, oh, he really is like a super dad to Maddie. And yeah, sure, my sleep is most important. So Maddie.
I think there's a half truth to all of that. What Paula's saying, what I think, what you guys think. I think there's half truths to all of it. I think she recognized it, but she turned a blind eye to it. And she figured, hey, if I don't have to deal with it, maybe something's going on. I don't know. There's half truths to everything, and we won't know until it all comes out. So we can speculate all we want, but until we see a document that says a statement from Jennifer Soto saying, I saw this fluid or blood and I was wondering, and once she tells us, if she actually ever says anything, then we'll know. I totally think she warned Jennifer Soto. She totally did. CBC, you're talking about the grandma. Absolutely. And yeah, there are many sides of truths. Paul, such class. She's classy. That's why she doesn't go on lives. Not that I'm not, but when you go on live streams, there's a lot of drama associated with it. I'm starting to realize that. 3 sides to the truth. Yeah, I won't even talk about the YouTube drama. I had no idea when I just used to watch YouTube versus doing it. Oh my.
You go on off with Stefan and you guys sleep in a different room. And did she really think they were just sleeping and Stefan wasn't harming her daughter? Like, who would even, I don't know, make that a thing? To me, that would be just even weird, even if he was her bio dad. Like, oh yeah, you guys go off sleep in the other room, let alone just like some boyfriend.
Right.
It's just too much weirdness there. And this whole theme, this whole thread of Maddie and Jennifer not getting along, it makes me wonder if Jennifer just kind of just didn't care. Like, she wasn't freaking out. It seems like she was really caring about Stefan's story and propping him up and comforting him. And it'll be interesting to see that whole timeline, like when that interview was done and when we see all these videos of their interrogations and what Jennifer really knew and when she realized it, or was it a big cover story? Will she ever be arrested and charged with anything? If anything, child endangerment or something.
Yeah, we're all hoping for that, folks. All of us. 1 second. I'm going to play this for 1 second. Stay here.
2:7. For the lips of the priest should guard and preserve knowledge of my law, and the people should seek instruction from his mouth, for he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts. So yeah, too bad Stearns wasn't like a great dad or great father figure or some guy who came into their lives. I mean, who knows how long he had designs on Maddie. Did he like Jennifer at all? Or how soon did he meet Maddie? Did she introduce them right away? And did he look at Jennifer and go, oh, whatever, but oh, look at the cute daughter you have. Was it that from the beginning? Possibly. And did Jennifer look past all these things? Was she truly naive, or did she just put up with it? And did she not have the proper love for her own daughter, the proper protection? I just don't like this talk of, I'm kicking you out. I'm disowning you when you're 18 or 19. And of course, Maddie had to be confused and angry and mad at her mom. She was probably mad at her mom for bringing this man into their lives, for not protecting her, even though he was acting like, oh, the best friend, and you come to me when your mom gets on your nerves, and, just trying to be that whole horrible, scheming, demonic entity in their lives. And just the suffering and anxiety, if you read through all the things Maddie went through at school and how she didn't even want to change out of her clothes into her gym clothes,
volume
or
here.
even just what she went through telling the counselor, and with her grades slipping, and just keeping her head down and her emotions. And there was so much she just suffered and kept within. And if only I was thinking now, she could see
what
just,
happened to
wow,
my headphones.
like, they got this man. It's now a death penalty case, and her justice is.
All right, hopefully you guys can still hear it. I walked away for a second, and it sounds way lower. Don't know what happened. That always happens to me. So we're going to finish this, and I'm just going to show you the Vinny clip real quick, and we have lots to go through, everybody. So, all right, good. I'm glad you hear me. Let's listen to this final.
Is coming, and the great part is she's in no pain now, no anxiety now. Off with Jesus, a man who will never take advantage of her. Those are the broad strokes of this whole thing. Of course, there's a lot more. It's nearly 900 pages. Of course, I couldn't go through all of that, but if anything else comes out, or I can put it in additional videos, and we'll just go.
Yeah, we'll put more. I'm going to stop this one real quick. Thank you all for being here. Let's finish this. This is going to probably be brutal because, well, Vinny says it how he wants to, and I'm just going to play this really quick. They're talking about, you can see Madeline, and it says strangled. Let's hear what they have to say.
I do have some information from sources who have told me how they decided to seek the death penalty. We were expecting today that the state attorney's office was going to release about 1,000 pages worth of discovery. That information, what police have gathered and law enforcement has gathered, that the state will use for this case to prosecute STEPHAN Stearns. We believe that they have determined that Madeline Soto was strangled, and that it was the cause of death. We also believe that they have.
Okay, so we're hearing that from a source that's going on to Court TV. Again, I don't know how they know that, but it sounds like it's valid. So if that's what they're saying the cause of death was, then it's probably what it was. That's the voice of Shannon Butler, an investigative reporter.
Quite a bit of video evidence after the fact on that route from the house to where Madeline's body was found. In that discovery that we are expecting as early as, well, it's supposed to be today, as tomorrow, it will give us a lot more information about the pieces that were missing. There's a gap there, right, from when he reported her missing to when her body was found. We do not know what happened the night before. They believe that she was killed overnight before 7 o'clock in the morning, but we don't have those kinds of details. We are expecting those 1,000 pages will fill in some of those gaps for us.
Ken Jackson, that's such a big question here, right? The actual time of this.
Yes, so we're going to finish this little quick segment, and then we're going to head out. Listen to this if you haven't heard it already. So now you don't have to look for
murder, because it seemingly would impact Jenn Soto as well, because she's on record saying that she saw her getting dressed that morning. She's on video. We saw her saying, oh no, she was wearing black shorts. Like she knew what she was wearing that morning, is what she's telling investigators and police. So the time is extremely important. What questions do you have that you hope will be answered by the release of this information?
Well, Vinny, what we've received so far this week has been the list of the evidence. It is a long list. I wasn't aware it was going to be 1,000 pages, but okay. Something that
and that's what we're all looking through right now. It's 896 pages, and it's a lot to go through. Sometimes you find different things that someone else doesn't, and then other times you'll find something that you didn't find the first time. So let's listen to this. Remember, we're here for Maddie, and we're here to get justice for Maddie, for it all to come out so that everybody can be charged with what they should be properly charged with. Hashtag arrest Jenn Soto. I'm not going to leave Jenn Soto alone. Just her handing her daughter over to that monster, to the devil himself. that's a crime in itself. And if she only gets child neglect, let her only get child neglect and let her be the next Casey Anthony. I want it to be more, but I don't understand how anyone can stick up for Jennifer Soto. Maybe they just need attention, and people that need attention and are getting played out, they have to say something different than everyone else is. So, hey.
I find interesting is that in the video that you showed in the lead up to this, there is the police body cam of STEPHAN Stearns talking about what sounded like an area of a residential area that he dropped Madeline off that Monday morning. All along, he's been saying he dropped her off at the church, which is just on the other side of the overpass from the school, where it appears that he is. I've driven that road a couple times since this investigation began. He's still about a half mile away from that church. So, this brings another kind of question as to what he said that they did that morning. I mean, this is a story that he's rehearsed a couple of times, but yeah, we still have a gap of from the birthday party Sunday night to Monday morning as far as when she actually passed away.
Judge, the law has changed in Florida for the death penalty. It's no longer unanimous down in Florida. So suddenly the road to death row.
Absolutely, Mom. There's my mom again. You can kind of see the resemblance. See, Pearl Lopez, arrest Jenn. She is guilty of so many things. Mom, you've been paying attention. You're absolutely right. Jennifer Soto is guilty of so many things. Hashtag arrest Jenn Soto. Hashtag I love you, Mom. Love you. Thank you. Thank you for listening to what I have to say.
Has gotten a little bit easier for prosecutors.
You're exactly right. It was next to impossible to get a unanimous vote of death. That is very difficult to do. In my nearly 40 years as a prosecutor and a judge, I've only seen that happen in a couple of cases. But the state now has an easier road. And based upon the evidence that will come out, particularly with strangulation, it fits the definition of heinous, atrocious, and cruel. And you lock in the fact of the aggravated child abuse, it is not looking very good for this defendant who is about to earn everything that he did in this particular case. The big question is, when will the mom step forward and tell the truth?
Yeah, and we have only about 20 seconds. Shannon Butler, I just wanted to finish with you. In this information that we expect to get tomorrow, do you anticipate learning a lot more about Jenn Soto?
I don't. I think this is going to focus mostly on STEPHAN Stearns. I don't have a lot of confidence right now that they are targeting her. At least at this point, things can change. But from what I'm being told, it seems like this will focus solely on him, which just leaves more questions for us about what Jenn knew or didn't know.
All right. Big thank you, Judge Belvin Perry, Shannon Butler, WFTV.
Yeah, we're going to leave it at that. You guys you can hear what we've been saying. We all want Jenn Soto to be arrested. Hashtag arrest Jenn Soto. And that's what we want right now. They are focusing on the man, the monster, the devil that did do that. So that took Maddie's life. STEPHAN Stearns, death penalty, justice for Maddie. Hashtag arrest Jenn Soto. That's why we're here today, to get justice for Maddie. We don't want to just sit there and talk about something that may not happen or minimal. Either way, all I can say is Casey Anthony, Nicole Kessinger, all of these women that do injustices and they don't get justice served, they're not going to live a good life, folks. So we want to let karma take its course, and it will do so. But I do believe that Jennifer Soto will be arrested at some point, unless they make a deal with the devil, which I don't see that they need her for anything. She'll have to get some kind of, I'm not the only one saying it. And again, I have a contact now that is a police officer or a detective. So I'd like to get real answers on what she can be charged with, and instead of speculating. But I do believe that she's committed crimes already by lying and handing her daughter over, being neglectful, so forth. That is not true, Grace. Not sticking up for Jenn. Well, there you go. Thanks, Notorious Nance. I don't know because I don't watch his channel. So thank you for clearing that up. I don't do drama on my channel. I'm doing real information. No, I don't do maps and I don't do things like that. That's not my channel, but I don't want anyone talking about anybody's, and thank you for clearing that up. I won't know because I won't be watching his channel. Love you all, crime crew, mods, and of course, Jay, have a fun weekend. Yes, she's complicit. Thank you, everybody. Sadly, you're in the UK. No, you're lucky you're in the UK. You're lucky you're in the UK. It's beautiful over there. Louis S.E. All right, y'all. Yeah, Davey. What do you mean, Davey? That's what he does all the time. That channel just does maps and a bunch of maps. That's all I ever see is maps and documents on the screen. So I'm not sure what you mean by that. You must not watch that channel, which is fine. He has a ton of followers and they love him. And let's not talk bad about anybody or anything. The UK is a mess. Well, America's not much better. Crime apps. America, we're hearing all these things and injustices. It's not much better, but we do love the United States. I love California. I love all you. Davy Jones, you're funny that you're not familiar with it. You're better off that way. All right. So everybody, please hit that like button on the way out. I'm probably going to have to put off the video of Wade Wilson. He was found guilty on all counts today, and he's going down. He's a joker. He's nothing but a joker, and he's going down. And I'm going to cover that case. We're going to go back. There's a Carrie in chat that's connected to that case and has a bunch of information for me. So we're going to get a little closer to that. Shout out to you, Jay. Love you, girlfriend. # La Familia. Thank you. I know I didn't roll my tongue on that, but I read it. So you guys have a good one. I will see you next week. Just watch my old stuff, okay? I love you all. Have a good one.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty of crime?